Chapter 1089. Hearing this, Lu Chongtian roughly understood the intentions of those sects. However, even so, it wasn't a reason for them to harm the Lin family. Martial God. Sects and empires all had martial God on the surface, but Lu Chongtian didn't think that was true. After all, no one wanted to show their full strength. Thinking about martial God and his own cultivation, Lu Chongtian frowned and hesitated. With his cultivation as a martial saint and the God realm techniques he learned from Lin Rei, he wasn't afraid of martial God Lu Chongtian at all. However, martial God was at the nascent soul stage in the self-cultivation realm, so the difference between them was obvious. Moreover, martial God of Emperor Dynasty was at the late stage of martial God. His strength was even more different from that of a martial God at the early stage. Normally, martial God at the late stage could beat up 4 martial God at the early stage, while martial God could beat up martial saints. However, against Lu Chongtian, who wasn't even a martial saint yet, Lu Chongtian would definitely be beaten up. Senior, we have to think about this at length. After all, they all have martial God. Your cultivation is a bit not enough. Although he didn't dare to say this, it was the truth. Of course, in Long Yaoyang's eyes, it was indeed not enough. However, Lu Chongtian was sure that if he became a martial God, it wouldn't be impossible for him to fight martial God. Even if there was a difference between them, if Lu Chongtian wanted to leave, martial God wouldn't be able to stop him. After all, Lu Chongtian's footwork was taught by Lin Rei. Although he had only reached the early stage of the butterfly steps, it wasn't something that the martial God of this world could compare to. Lu Chongtian understood Long Yaoyang's meaning. Lu Chongtian didn't have a chance, so he just smiled and didn't say anything else. Now that the whole story was clear, the next step was to prepare for the trial. It wasn't just the Cloud Wind sect, all of the large families in the capital had to be punished. Even the imperial family was no exception. Anyone who had acted against the Lin family, regardless of whether they had intended it or not, deserved to be killed. Not for anything else, but to let the Lin family have peace and prevent the previous events from happening again. The Lin family had suffered great losses. They wouldn't recover in the next 20 to 30 years. Therefore, Lu Chongtian had to make his move. At the very least, he had to kill them so that they wouldn't dare to do anything to the Lin family. After making his decision, he raised his head and looked at Long Yaoyang. Killing intent flashed through his eyes, but it disappeared in an instant. Perhaps it was because the two of them were so close that Long Yaoyang could feel the terror of Lu Chongtian's killing intent. Long Yaoyang was very clear that this bastard was planning to kill them. What I mean is, give me the power, strength, name and location of all the families in the capital. As for the imperial family, there was martial God in the imperial family, so Lu Chongtian didn't dare to act rashly. At the very least, he had to make arrangements first before making his move. We'll talk about the imperial family after I've dealt with these families. Feng Xueqi, find a reason to ask him out. As for the rest, just leave it to me. Anyone who has a grudge against the Lin clan must die. Who else? These words expressed the Lin clan's attitude, expressed Lin Li's attitude, and even more so, expressed his attitude. The Lin family wasn't something that ants like them could touch. Anyone who touched them would die. Seeing that Lu Chongtian had made his decision, Long Yaoyang wanted to refuse, but for some reason, he nodded and agreed. Okay, I'll go back and take care of it. Tomorrow at the latest the things you want will appear in front of you. Okay. Seeing that Long Yaoyang didn't hesitate, Lu Chongtian was still a bit confused. After all, this wasn't good for the Long family's future. Of course, this was under the condition that Lu Chongtian really lost. If Lu Chongtian really lost, or even died, then the Long family would be pushed to the center of the storm. They would undoubtedly become the target of everyone's attacks. However, there were pros and cons. If Lu Chongtian really succeeded and wiped out all the major families in the capital, then the Long family would be the final beneficiary. To put it bluntly, if the imperial family was also wiped out by Lu Chongtian, then wouldn't the Long family have the final say in the empire? As for Lu Chongtian, he completely believed that Lu Chongtian wasn't interested in the throne at all. To be honest, he didn't care about it at all. Thinking of this, Long Yaoyang couldn't help but laugh. Lu Chongtian rolled his eyes at him. He understood what he was thinking, so he didn't stay any longer and turned to leave. As for his location, he believed that with the Long family's power, they would be able to find him without him telling them. Outside the Long family's residence, Long Yaoyang felt that he had solved a problem. What he needed to do now was to wait for the list of names to arrive so that he could start killing. On the street, Lu Chongtian wasn't in a hurry to go to his residence. Instead, he walked on the street like an ordinary person. He looked left and right like a curious child. The smile on his face never faded. I didn't expect that there would be so many good things in the capital. There are even things from the depths of the Eastern Sea that I haven't seen before here. Tisk, TSK, TSK. Just this pearl alone is probably more money than I can earn in my entire life as a city lord. Looking at the fist-sized pearl in front of him, he couldn't help but click his tongue. However, now that he was a revered martial artist, these things weren't worth much. If they were exchanged for money, then maybe he would take them away. After all, cultivation required money, cultivation methods, companions, and land. Money was the most important, so one could imagine how important money was. After looking for a while, Lu Chongtian continued walking. At first, the quality of the things was very good, but as time passed, he didn't think that these things were good anymore. Standing in front of a clothing store, his body paused for a moment, then he continued walking. The corners of his mouth rose slightly, and a smile appeared on his face. 1,000 meters away from Lu Chongtian, a man in black was looking at the roof, staring at Lu Chongtian. However, the moment Lu Chongtian paused, the old man's face changed and he immediately hid, as if he was afraid that Lu Chongtian would discover him. What's going on? Did he discover me? In the dark, when he thought of Lu Chongtian pausing, he looked unsure. If Lu Qingzhou was here, he would definitely discover that this was the assassin he hired, Hong Si, who had the strength of a martial arts grandmaster. No, impossible. I'm so far away. Even a martial arts sage can't discover my existence. Hong Si seemed to be very confident in his concealment skill. Thinking of this, Hong Si breathed a sigh of relief, then got up and continued to follow. Little did he know that after Lu Chongtian left Long Mansion, he vaguely felt that someone was following him. He thought it was an illusion, but when he was in front of the clothing store, Lu Chongtian really found that someone was following him. The moment his body came to a stop, Lu Chongtian sent out his senses. He was sure of Hong Si's existence. As for his cultivation base, he could tell at a glance. Interesting. A martial arts grandmaster assassin. Who could it be? Chapter 1090. Ignoring him, Lu Chongtian continued to wander around. Since he wanted to follow him, Lu Chongtian was not surprised. Since he had nothing to do now, he might as well take it as walking his dog. Just like that, Lu Chongtian's first dog walk began. Along the way, Lu Chongtian walked and stopped. He was like a foodie, eating all kinds of things. As long as he saw something delicious and fresh, he would eat non-stop. Of course, the most important thing was to see how patient the person behind him was. Of course, Lu Chongtian would check if the person was still following him every time he stopped for a while. After all, it would be boring if the person did not follow him. But fortunately, that person's willpower was strong, and he didn't hesitate at all along the way. Lu Chongtian admired his indomitable spirit. Along the way, Lu Chongtian did not stay idle. He walked toward the East City Gate. Although he wanted to have some fun, he also wanted to ask who asked him to follow a martial arts grandmaster expert. Long Yaoyang? Obviously it was impossible. Long Yaoyang knew his cultivation and would not send a low-level cultivator to kill him. As for a martial venerable expert, it was not that Lu Chongtian looked down on him, but that the Long family did not have the ability to do so. Unless they informed the Cloud Wind Sect and asked them to help. But was that possible? Thinking about it, the only person he had offended in the capital recently was the Lu family. Thinking of this, Lu Chongtian's expression flashed with a murderous intent. Thinking of the Lu family, he could not stop his murderous intent. The Lu family must have been part of the Lin family. Various thoughts appeared in his mind. Lu Chongtian did not stop and soon arrived at the city gate. Behind him, Hong Si saw that Lu Chongtian was about to leave the city and was stunned. He was a little confused. However, thinking of the 5 million black gold, these doubts disappeared. As the saying goes, money makes the world go round. An assassin like Hong Si had long been driven by money. After leaving the city, he used the butterfly steps and rushed forward quickly without any sense of direction. His purpose was to capture Hong Si. As for where to go, it was fine as long as there was no one around and it was an empty space. If they were to fight in the city, it would probably cause quite a commotion. What's going on? Did they discover me? Upon seeing Lu Chongtian's sudden appearance outside the city, Hong Si grew suspicious. Forget it. I don't care anymore. So what if his cultivation is strong? Could he be a martial saint? With this thought in mind, he increased his speed and rushed in the direction Lu Chongtian had disappeared. At this moment, Long Yaoyang from the Long family didn't stop after Lu Chongtian left. He used all the power that the Long family could muster to gather information on the various families in the capital. As a large family, who didn't have spies if they wanted to survive in this ruthless capital? Once the news was sent out, the spies hidden in the various big families started to search crazily. This time, Long Yaoyang didn't care if his spies were exposed. These spies were bought from a young age and trained. Long Yaoyang didn't care if they were exposed or died. Their existence was to gather information, so it was their duty to do so. As for what happened to Lu Chongtian, Long Yaoyang had no idea. Even if he did, he wouldn't worry for Lu Chongtian. A martial great master dared to mess around in front of a revered martial artist. Either he was crazy or he was an idiot, a pure idiot. At this moment, 100 miles away from the capital, Lu Chongtian, who was running quickly, suddenly stopped and turned to look in the direction of Hong Si. The smile on his face was even brighter. "Old man, come out." In the dark, Hong Si, who had followed Lu Chongtian here, immediately hid when he saw Lu Chongtian stop. However, when he heard Lu Chongtian's words, he was stunned but didn't go out. Lu Chongtian was amused by Hong Si's action. "Damn it. You're a martial arts grandmaster. Do you really think I'll lie to you? You think too highly of yourself." When he saw that Hong Si didn't come out, his smile became even brighter. "Oh sure. In that case, I'll invite you out. However, it's very expensive for me to take action." Then, without waiting for Hong Si to speak, he rushed in the direction where Hong Si was hiding. He slowly increased his speed and rushed out quickly. In an instant, he was in front of Hong Si. The moment Lu Chongtian's cultivation erupted, even a martial arts grandmaster wouldn't be able to detect Lu Chongtian's figure. Otherwise, the butterfly steps would be useless. If Lin Rei was here and used the dragon subduing step with his cultivation as a martial saint, Hong Si wouldn't even know how he died. Oh no! When Lu Chongtian suddenly appeared, Hong Si's expression changed. Years of assassination experience drove him to turn around and escape. However, could he escape? Obviously, it was impossible. Before Hong Si could react, Lin Fan reached out and grabbed Hong Si's neck. He released his cultivation and his origin energy rushed out and wrapped Hong Si in it. "Don't talk too much. It's very expensive for me to take action." Looking at Hong Si, Lu Chongtian looked as if he expected better from Hong Si. Hong Si was shocked. He knew that Lu Chongtian's cultivation was higher than his, but he didn't expect Lu Chongtian's cultivation to be so high that he couldn't even fight back. "Stop talking. Tell me who sent you here. Long Yaoyang? Or the Lu family?" Although he knew that Long Yaoyang wouldn't dare to do it. What if? Humph. Kill me if you want. I'll be your grandson if I blink my eyes. Oh. You have quite a character. Hong Si's reaction really surprised Lu Chongtian. However, he smiled casually and said, "Old man, you must be an assassin. Your concealment skill is very special. If my cultivation wasn't higher than yours, I'm afraid I would have fallen into your trap." Hong Si was speechless. "You don't want to talk, right?" Lu Chongtian didn't think that he was a patient person. Seeing that Hong Si didn't speak, he wanted to be silent, so he raised his hand and punched Hong Si's chest. A punch landed on Hong Si's chest, causing his chest to cave in. "Oh, you didn't vomit blood?" Lu Chongtian was more and more surprised. His fist wasn't soft, but it didn't make Hong Si vomit blood. This made Lu Chongtian feel a little frustrated. "Well, you're strong and tough. In that case then." Before he finished speaking, he raised his hand and rushed toward Hong Si's arm. Boom! Crack! The sound of bones breaking was heard. Hearing this sound, Lu Chongtian felt a little better. F***CK. Do you really think I'm a pushover? He wanted to break free, but his opponent's hand was like an iron clamp. He couldn't fight back at all. He didn't even know why he couldn't control the elemental energy in his body. It was as still as a pool of stagnant water. Tell me who sent you here? Tell me and I'll let you go. I promise I won't do anything to you. How about it? Chapter 1091. Lu Chongtian was speechless. Hong Xi's stubbornness made Lu Chongtian's head hurt. He had seen people with guts, but he had never seen someone so gutsy. He didn't even scream when his bones were broken, although Lu Chongtian didn't care about that. Old man, you forced me to do this. Lu Chongtian had given up on making Hong Xi talk. He raised his hand and hit Hong Xi's other arm. Crack. The sound of bones breaking was heard. Hong Xi's face was pale, and his forehead was covered with cold sweat. His body was trembling because of the pain, but he didn't even scream. Lu Chongtian was stunned. Well, you're awesome. Without further ado, he broke Hong Xi's limbs first. Anyway, Lu Chongtian didn't expect Hong Xi to talk. Crack, crack, Hong Xi's limbs were broken, and he fainted because of the pain. Sometimes, death is an extravagant hope. He reached his hand into his hair. When he pulled it out, there was a silver needle in his hand. As Lin Rei's apprentice, Lu Chongtian had to learn the basic pharmacology. He had mastered all the acupoints in the body when he became a warrior. The Bai Hui acupoint was located at the intersection of the midline of the head and the tips of the ears. It was mainly used to treat headaches and other diseases. However, it had its advantages and disadvantages. Sometimes it could cure diseases, but it could also hurt people. The Bai Hui acupoint might not be a big deal for doctors. However, for those who didn't know the depth of the acupoint, if the silver needle was pierced too deeply, the pain would be unbearable for ordinary people. Stab. Lu Chongtian didn't check the silver needle at all. He stabbed it into Hong Xi's Bai Hui acupoint. He didn't stab it lightly on the scalp, but directly inserted the whole needle into the Bai Hui acupoint. Hong Xi, who was in a coma, let out a scream. He looked up to the sky and howled. It looked tragic, but it was actually very tragic. Fresh blood gushed out from the Bai Hui acupoint and flowed down from his head along his face. With his drooping temperament, he looked as if half of his body was paralyzed. After the blood-curdling screams, he lowered his head and opened his eyes. His originally clear eyes were now blood-red, and coupled with his current appearance, he looked extremely terrifying. Bang! A fist appeared and made contact with Hong Xi. Of course, the sound of bones breaking was inevitable. Since Hong Xi refused to speak, there was no point in keeping him alive. Tisk. TSK. TSK. A martial ancestor realm expert has died just like that. His many years of cultivation and hard work have been wasted just like that. If I were you, I would have said something the first time you asked. Although reputation is important, don't forget, if you lose your life, what's the point of reputation? More importantly, even if you don't tell me, I can still come out. In the capital I have only done one thing. I killed the son of the Lu family, Lu Tianxiang. If his father doesn't take revenge, I will look down on him. Unfortunately, he sent you, a martial arts grandmaster, here. What's even more unfortunate is that I happen to be a martial venerable, so... Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. I originally wanted to destroy the Lu family, so... Your death doesn't have much meaning. As soon as he said that, Hong Xi, who was lying on the ground, glared at Lu Chongtian. His expression was full of regret. He didn't expect that his persistence meant nothing to Lu Chongtian. He also didn't expect the Lu family to be so deceitful. What happened to the martial arts grandmaster realm expert? What happened to not being strong? Damn it, everything was bullshit. Hong Xi cried in his heart. Yes, he cried. He had failed, but this time, it was not a failure, but a complete death. Thinking about what he had done in the past, a bitter smile appeared on his face. Forget it. If I die, then so be it. Anyway, I have lived for so long. It's enough. As he spoke, Hong Xi seemed to have come to a realization. He closed his eyes and waited for death to come. Yo. You are ambitious. You don't even know how to beg for mercy. You give up just like that? Lu Chongtian found it funny. It was the first time he met such a person. You, Lu Chongtian's words reached the ears of the desperate Hong Xi. He, who had thought that he would die, opened his eyes again and looked up. The moment he saw Lu Chongtian's amused smile, Hongxi was stunned. F***CK, big brother, what are you trying to do? Either give me a quick death or let me go. Why do you keep going back and forth? I'm going to be killed by your murderous aura and your bad taste. Big brother, I beg you, kill me. To be honest, Hongxi couldn't stand this kind of repeated torture. If his previous killing methods were considered torture, then Lu Chongtian's was simply beyond the scope of human beings. Even if the Grim Reaper came, he would be terrified to see Lu Chongtian's torture. With a pleading look, Hongxi looked at Lu Chongtian and spoke. However, blood kept flowing out of the corner of his mouth, so his words were a little unclear. Big brother, please kill me. Don't torture me anymore. I'm a killer. Usually, I'm the one who tortures others. If you do this, I will be scared. Tears mixed with blood flowed down from the corners of Hongxi's eyes. He looked very miserable. It was too horrible to look at. Lu Chongtian was speechless. Hongxi opened his mouth, but his words were obviously asking for death. Damn it, am I so terrifying? Thinking about it, he came to Hongxi and squatted down to look at him. The smile never disappeared. Old man, although you didn't tell me who sent you, it made me very unhappy. I wanted to kill you and I did. But just now, I thought of a very interesting thing. Hongxi was stunned. Lu Chongtian didn't care about Hongxi and continued talking. Hongxi wanted to bang his head against the wall. Look, you're a Wu Zong. It's not easy for you to cultivate for so many years. If you work for me, I'll make sure you break through to Martial Venerable within a year. I'll make sure you break through within 10 years. And you don't have to die now. Tell me, isn't this a good idea? You won't kill me? For the first time, Hongxi was shocked. After recovering from the shock, he looked at Lu Chongtian with a questioning look. Although he didn't have much contact with Lu Chongtian, he knew Lu Chongtian's character very well. He didn't think that Lu Chongtian was kind to him, unless there was something valuable on him, such as cultivation. He looked up and looked at Lu Chongtian with mixed feelings. He had to admit that Lu Chongtian's conditions were very attractive. Even he couldn't resist. Tell me, what are your conditions? I don't think you'll be so kind. Chapter 1092. Oh, smart. I like to talk to smart people. He looked at Hongxi as if he had guessed correctly and continued. What I want is simple. I'll heal your wounds, and the price is very simple. I'll kill people in the capital in the next 2 days. What you have to do is to help me kill people. Of course, you can refuse, but you have to think about it carefully. Killing people is your job. Now that such a good opportunity is in front of you, will you give it up? Kill people? In the capital? Killing people was a common occurrence for an assassin. However, Hongxi, who was one of the top assassins, hesitated. It was not because he was afraid of killing people, but because killing people in the capital of the Guangyun Empire would be like hanging himself. He was looking for death. With Lu Chongtian's cultivation, he still needed the help of a martial arts grandmaster. One could imagine how powerful the person he wanted to kill. Oh, no, the person's family was. Moreover, they were in the capital. If they fought, would the Emperor of Guangyun intervene? Although the Emperor of Guangyun's cultivation was unknown, the Guangyun Empire had martial god, the martial arts sage. What do you think? Do you want me to kill you, or do you want to stay and help me kill people? Of course, there are many benefits. For example, I can help you break through your cultivation and become a martial venerable. Understanding Hongxi's thoughts, Lu Chongtian tempted him again. Hongxi hesitated and was in a dilemma. He was in a dilemma. On one hand, he agreed to Lu Chongtian's conditions. On the other hand, he was afraid. So what if he was an assassin? Assassins also had families. The Guangyun Empire was very powerful. If he died because of this, his family would not be spared. However, if he did not agree, he would die now. With the ability of his wife and children, they would not survive in this chaotic world where the strong preyed on the weak. There's no harm in agreeing. I can guarantee that you'll be fine. After all, your decision will bring you to the peak of life. What do you think? Hongxi was speechless. There were good and bad things in this situation. With Lu Chongtian's cultivation, it was impossible that there was no powerful person behind him. Lu Chongtian did not look like a loose cultivator, especially his footwork. If he did not have a powerful inheritance, how could a loose cultivator have such a level of footwork? As he thought about it, he observed Lu Chongtian's behavior. Finally, Hong Xi's hesitant heart made up its mind. Damn it, I'm going to do it. Either way, I'm going to die. Maybe it's really as he said. If I succeed, wouldn't I have a chance to become a martial saint? Once he made his decision, he raised his head with a resolute expression, indicating his decision. Trust me, you've made the right decision. Lu Chongtian already knew what Hong Xi was thinking just by looking at his expression. He took out the healing pill and said, "Eat this. Although it won't let you recover instantly, it won't hurt as much." Without waiting for Hong Xi to reply, Zhang Xian grabbed the pill with one hand while his other hand appeared above Hong Xi's head at lightning speed. Using his origin energy, a suction force appeared from his palm. Bear with it, it's going to hurt. Sizzle. Under Lu Chongtian's operation, a silver needle was slowly pulled out from the Bai Hui acupoint. Of course, the process was very painful. Although Lu Chongtian had never experienced it before, he could tell from Hong Xi's behavior. Cold sweat kept dripping from his forehead. He grimaced in pain but did not scream. His face was so pale that he did not look like a living person. Lu Chongtian was very satisfied with Hong Xi's behavior. If Hong Xi made a sound during the process of pulling out the needle, Lu Chongtian would be disappointed. Whoosh! After the silver needle was pulled out, the blood flowed out even more uncontrollably. Lu Chongtian's expression changed drastically. He said in a deep voice, "Quick, eat it." Hong Xi did not hesitate. Since he had made up his mind, what was the point of hesitating? He reached out and grabbed the pill in his hand. After glancing at it, he stuffed it into his mouth. The pill melted as soon as it entered his mouth. It turned into a gentle energy and began to heal the wounds on Hong Xi's body. Circulate your origin energy and guard your soul. Stay awake and don't pass out. Otherwise, the effect of the pill will be greatly reduced. By then, your life will be in danger. Understood. Hong Xi replied to Lu Chongtian. Then he sat cross-legged and began to circulate his origin energy to recover. Time passed little by little. Soon after Hong Xi circulated his origin energy, the blood stopped flowing out of his Bai Hui acupoint and the wound quickly scabbed over. Hong Xi seemed to have felt the effect of the pill. He was shocked. He had never seen or heard of this kind of pill. The pain in his Bai Hui acupoint gradually subsided under the effect of the pill. However, it was indeed a little troublesome to heal his limbs. After all, the bones in his limbs were broken. He could not move without a period of recovery, even though he was a martial arts grandmaster. It would take 100 days for bones and tendons to heal. Even with Lu Chongtian's pill, it would not be effective immediately. For this reason, Lu Chongtian was very regretful. If he had known this would happen, he would have asked for help. Things would not have turned out like this. Alas, it seems that I have to think carefully before I act in the future. I shot myself in the foot this time. He let out a long sigh. Then he walked to the side and waited. With Hong Xi's current recovery speed, it would take at least a day for his broken limbs to recover a little. At the very least, he would be able to move around. In front of the gate of the capital of the Guangyun Empire, a young man stood in front of the gate with 2 children beside him. He looked up at the capital with murderous intent in his eyes. Is it here? In the air, Lin Rei felt that his spiritual body had appeared here. Although it had been some time, in the entire Destiny realm, apart from Lin Rei, Tendo was the only one who knew about spiritual bodies. Therefore, Lin Rei was 100% sure that his mother had been here and had been attacked. At the thought of this, his murderous intent surged uncontrollably. Who would dare to attack the people around him? If he attacked, he would die. What do you want to do in the capital? A voice interrupted Lin Rei. Lowering his head, Lin Rei looked in the direction of the voice. When he saw the guard at the gate, he ignored him. Or perhaps, he was disdainful. To be able to become a guard in the capital, all of them had been on the battlefield. They were especially sensitive to murderous intent. The moment Lin Rei released his murderous intent, the guard noticed it. You, the capital? What do you want? Looking at Lin Rei, the guard was not afraid at all. Perhaps in his opinion, who would dare to attack the guards in the capital? The guards of the capital were equivalent to meeting the emperor. Attacking them would be equivalent to slapping the emperor's face. Who would dare to do that? However, as luck would have it, his opponent was Linley. Linley didn't care about the Emperor or anything like that at all. I'll give you 3 breaths. Disappear from my sight and I will let bygones be bygones. Otherwise, die. Chapter 1093. Yo. Someone is here to pick a quarrel. Hearing this, the guard's expression froze for a moment before he sneered. Then, he turned to look at the dozen or so other guards behind him and waved his hand. Brothers, did you see that? Someone is here to pick a quarrel. What do you think we should do? Of course we should kill him. Don't we want face? Yeah, isn't it just a stinking brat? Just kill him. Since he dares to cause trouble in the imperial capital, he should be prepared to die. Yes, Boss Long is right. See, you can do it. I'm not interested. Damn, what do you mean? Oh, if you're not interested, do you think I'm interested? At this moment, without waiting for Lin Ray to speak, the dozen or so guards began to throw Lin Ray to someone else. It was as if Lin Ray no longer belonged to them. Instead, he had become someone to be bought and sold at will. In the end, no one was willing to accept him. Lin Ray had been watching from the side. Seeing the dozen or so guards acting so presumptuously, his heart was filled with anger. His expression changed again and again. And in his arms, Bloodling Tian was amused by the dozen or so guards that had been wiped out in front of him. The little one was overjoyed. Those who didn't know better would think that his laughing acupoint had been pressed. He couldn't stop laughing. Shut up. Blood Spirit Sky's actions caused Linley's head to hurt. He let out a low growl through divine sense, then raised his head, no longer paying any attention to Blood Spirit Sky. He stared straight at the 10 or so guards in front of him, his eyes cold and emotionless. In Lin Ray's eyes, these dozen or so guards were already dead. Very good. I gave you a chance. Since you don't know how to cherish it, then, die. As soon as he said that, his figure flashed quickly. Using 20% of his cultivation, he instantly used the dragon subduing step. He didn't use any combat techniques, just pure physical strength and spirit chi. Crack. The sound of bones breaking could be heard among the dozen or so guards who were in the middle of a discussion. The originally boisterous discussion suddenly stopped. The dozen or so guards turned their heads to look at Lin Ray. In the next moment, their pupils abruptly contracted and their breathing stopped. At this moment before a guard, Lin Ray's hand was already wrapped around that guard's neck. At this moment, that guard's body seemed to have lost all of its bones. It was drooping down. There was no struggle, no sound of breathing, no heartbeat. All sorts of signs indicated that he was already dead. Huff huff. Coming back to their senses, everyone let out a long sigh of relief. At this moment, the way they looked at Lin Ray had changed. To be able to casually kill a cultivator, this kind of power meant that he was a strong cultivator. Although they understood that there were many strong cultivators in the capital, but, so what? Who would stand up for them just for a few guards? Of course the answer was no. Just as they thought, who would be willing to stand up for the watchdog of the Empire? Unless that person had a screw loose in their head or was an idiot to begin with. Humph, you were the one who was the most talkative before. Look at you now. You'll be drunk from love forever. Let's see if you still dare to talk nonsense in front of this sovereign in the future. You even F*King crippled me. F*CK, why don't you take a look at yourself first? You're not worthy. Looking at the guard who could no longer speak in his hand, Lin Ray casually threw the corpse to the side as if he was throwing away trash. Opening his eyes, Lin Ray looked at the remaining dozen or so guards. The corner of his mouth rose slightly. A bloodthirsty smile appeared on Lin Ray's face. Why did you? One of the guards wanted to say, why did you make a move? We were the ones who made a move. Of course, before he could finish his words, Lin Ray interrupted him. The world is so big. You should go and see it. Don't think that anyone who comes here is a weakling. So what if you are a weakling? You are just watchdogs of the Empire. Do you really think that the Empire will make a move after killing you? Oh, I forgot to tell you. If the Empire doesn't give me an explanation this time, then... As he said that, he looked at the city wall of the Empire. His killing intent suddenly increased. If you don't give me a perfect reason, then there is no need for him to exist. Renewal, the law of all things. The dozen or so guards' faces turned ugly again. They felt wronged. What the F***CK? What's going on? Didn't we just say a few words? As soon as the thought came out, the man felt something on his neck. His consciousness gradually blurred. Before his eyes fell on Lin Rei, the little bit of consciousness he had left completely disappeared in the process of the man losing his life. I can't believe that I, a dignified Saint Realm cultivator, would actually kill a low-level cultivator. If this is exposed, wouldn't Lin Rei lose his face? He couldn't help but think that if this matter was heard by those people in the divine realm, they would probably laugh themselves to death. And at this moment, a memory which caused Linley's mind to become hazy began to intermittently surface in his mind. Hey, your vigilance is quite high. I was almost discovered. At this time, Lin Rei, who was on a tree far away, was shocked. Lin Rei, who had been here for a long time, had been staring at the battle in the distance. He didn't expect that someone would look at Lin Rei's location at this time. For a moment, Lin Rei quickly hid. Roar! The diamond bear launched its final attack before it died. The entire bear's body shone with golden light as if it was destroying everything around it. However, the result wasn't that satisfying. The diamond bear died in its final effort. As for those people, they survived, but they were also seriously injured. Cough, cough. I didn't expect to meet this guy this time. What a loss. Yeah, it's just a dinner. To think that they would fight to such an extent. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, this demonic beast is dead in the end. This is also a good result, isn't it? The three people looked at each other and complained about why they had to find such a demonic beast. However, they didn't notice that Lin Rei had already reached their side. Whoosh! A long spear pierced towards one of the men. Quickly dodge. One of the men with high perception has already sensed the danger. This proves that the previous perception was not wrong. Humph! Do you think I can let an injured man live under my spear? Lin Rei's movements were very fast. If these people were not injured, it would be very difficult to kill them. However, they were already injured. If he couldn't kill them, then they would really be crippled. Poof! The long spear pierced through the man's back. The man looked at the spearhead piercing through his back. He had an unwilling expression on his face, but this was already an unchangeable fact. The man's vitality was almost gone. Lin Rei turned to the next target. For them who were injured, Lin Rei could kill them very quickly. Lin Rei was like the messenger of death. He was harvesting people's lives in the night sky. You didn't die. When there was only one person left in this place, that person saw Lin Rei's face. Suddenly, he was so scared that he fell to the ground. His eyes were filled with disbelief. Hee, you didn't think that I would be alive. You must have thought that I was dead, right? How did you survive? Didn't you jump into the bottomless abyss? How can you still be alive? I don't believe it. When the man said this, he became very excited. It was as if he had gone crazy. He was crazily asking why Lin Rei was still alive. Oh, you don't need to know this. You only need to know that there are many of your companions waiting for you. However, there will be more people coming to find you later. After speaking, Lin Rei did not give that person a chance to speak. He killed the person in front of him with a single shot. This time was the same as last time. After killing people, Lin Rei disposed of them and covered the bloodstains. Ding dong! Congratulations to the host for consecutively killing Foundation Establishment cultivators. The host is hereby rewarded with a chance to draw a general, a chance to draw a lottery, and 10,000 spirit stones. Congratulations to the host for killing a Foundation Establishment cultivator. The reward is 50,000 experience points. Congratulations to the host for increasing one level. You have reached the peak of Qi Refining level 9. The host now has the ability to complete the Ecliptic Spiritual Master's test. Do you want to do the task now? The system prompts came one after another. What made Lin Rei the most excited was the general draw and the cultivation level increase. For a time, Lin Rei found a safe place and checked his information. Name, Lin Rei. Age, 14. Cultivation, Qi Refining level 9. Experience, 63080200000. Spiritual Roots, Thunder, Fire, Wood, 3 Chaos Spiritual Roots. Talent, Top-notch cultivation method, Chaos Scripture, incomplete. Devouring Heavenly Technique, growable. Hongmeng Alchemy, entry level. martial technique. Butterfly steps, entry level, stellar finger. Proficient, silent thunder spear art. High-level mystic martial technique, now practiced to the entry level, can produce 3 lightning bolts, spiritual. Treasure, martial emperor godly spear, high-level spirit chi, growable, equipment. Cloud stepping boots, high-quality spirit chi. Purple cloud robe, high-quality spirit chi. Purple cloud inner armor, high-quality spirit chi, mount. Red flaming tiger, chi refining level 1 lucky draw wheel. 1 chance general draw system. 1 chance to draw a lottery reputation points. 100 exchange points. 100 spirit stones. 11,000 mission. Main mission. Establish a sect in the next 5 years. If the mission is not completed or exceeds the time limit, the system will directly erase the mission. Side mission. Within the next 5 years, he had to recruit 5 of the best disciples. Every disciple had to be top-notch. Within these 5 years, he had to help his disciples make a name for themselves in the mysterious heavenly mainland. If he didn't succeed in these 5 years, he would be killed by the system. Just like the previous mission. Side mission. Kill the evil spirit of the Zodiac Sage in 10 days. If the mission is not completed, the system will directly erase the mission. Side mission. Go to the Fengyun sect and kill the 3rd Elder Wang Shen in the next year. If the mission is not completed or not completed, the system will directly erase the mission. Pills. 30 body strengthening pills, 200 energy gathering pills, 50 foundation establishment pills, 1 marrow cleansing pill. I didn't expect that the experience points would increase to 200,000 when I'm only at chi refining level 9. It seems that I have to work harder. Lin Rei was not happy when he saw his cultivation level. Instead, he felt that it was not enough and that he had to work harder. Ding dong. The system repeated for the 2nd time. The host's strength has reached the level where he can fight against the evil spirit. Do you want me to erase the body now? No, I don't have time now. Let's wait until the last day of the seal. Lin Rei did not choose to complete the mission now. Although he would level up immediately after completing the mission, the experience gained from killing people would be more. Lin Rei believed that if he killed all the people outside like this, his cultivation level would immediately rise to the foundation establishment stage. It could be imagined that Lin Rei's calculation was really perfect. Well, since the host has decided, there must be a plan for the host. However, the system wants to remind the host that if the evil spirit is not erased before the seal is unsealed, then the evil spirit will cause substantial damage to the host's mind. The host hopes that the host will consider it carefully. After that, the system went silent. Lin Rei also walked out of the place where he had just cultivated and went outside to begin the 3rd killing. Originally, there were only a dozen people who came in to hunt. Now, half of them had been killed by Lin Rei. The next one would be even smoother. Lin Li found the right direction. Activating his Shadow's Tepper, he began to walk at high speed in that direction. The people who came in to hunt had basically completed the mission given by the team leader. Hee. This time we will definitely be able to eat our fill. If there is some carved flower wine, then it will be even more perfect, TSK. The person who spoke was one of the people who had been hunting recently. Once he thought about drinking wine, that person's mouth would not stop moving, as if he had already drunk it. Hee, look at you. You don't have any sense of propriety. You only think about drinking all day. Don't you have anything else to do? After the person next to him heard his companion's words, his entire person became unwell. Humph, don't just talk about it. Don't you only know how to play in the drunken flower brothel all day? Aren't you afraid of dying in there one day? The 2 people talked back and forth as if they were very happy arguing. They did not even notice that there was someone next to them. Hee, the 2 of you have a very good relationship. Who is it? The sudden voice startled the 2 people. Oh, don't tell me you don't recognize me? At this time, Lin Rei moved his face forward to let the 2 people see clearly. What? After seeing clearly who Lin Rei was, the 2 people were really startled. Why aren't you dead? One of them blurted out this question, but after saying it, the man immediately regretted it. That brother, you see, the 2 of us were also following orders. In fact, we did not want to do it. It was all forced by them. Forced. Lin Rei did not believe their nonsense. For a moment, Lin Rei took out his tone and went up to shoot. After seeing Lin Rei's actions, the 2 people were really startled and quickly took out their weapons to resist. Their imagination was very rich, but the reality was very cruel. In the end, the two people ended up dead. After Lin Rei had the experience of killing people, he was not soft-hearted. As long as he killed people, he would basically find the key point and kill himself. Humph, a group of greedy and cowardly people. Lin Rei killed them in less than a minute and then said to the corpses, "Phew, this is the memory of the mortal world. Humph, die." Chapter 1094. The sudden appearance of his memories caused Lin Rei's movements to become sluggish. Although Lin Rei was sluggish, the others were not. Seeing that Lin Rei had stopped, they would be fools if they didn't attack. As the saying goes, take your life when you're sick. The greatest taboo in a battle was to be distracted. With a shout, a figure rushed out and arrived in front of Lin Rei. He raised his hand and thrust his blade toward Lin Rei's heart. His expression was cold without the slightest hesitation. It was as if killing someone was a common occurrence to him. Seeing that their leader was so ferocious, the others were unwilling to fall behind. As if they were injected with hormones, they raised their blades and slashed toward Lin Rei. Piff-feff, the sound of flesh being pierced was heard. Blood rushed out from the blade. Seeing that their opponent was bleeding, everyone's expression changed and became even more excited. Previously, they thought that Lin Rei was unreachable. But now, there was nothing to fear anymore. Just as everyone was moving, Lin Rei, who was lost in his memories, was awakened by the pain. Without wrinkling his brows, he lowered his head and looked at his chest. Drops of blood were flowing out from his wound. It was like a fountain, flowing without restraint. Looking at the wound, Lin Rei came to a realization. How long has it been since he bled? Lin Rei wasn't sure about this. With his previous body's powerful physical body, even if a hierarch realm cultivator directly slashed at him, Lin Rei wouldn't feel the slightest pain, let alone bleeding. But now, his body was weak and he didn't have the slightest strength to resist. He didn't even have the strength to truss up a chicken. The difference between the two was like heaven and earth. Looking at the blood flowing out, Lin Rei didn't care about it. He smiled bitterly. "Little dragon, just you wait. Don't think that I will let you go in today's situation." Ah! In the divine realm, the little dragon who was resting suddenly woke up and sneezed. He was stunned on the spot. Holy shit, I can get sick too? Catch a cold and sneeze? This was a very important question. How could a spirit like the little dragon get sick? It was impossible for it to die from old age unless the spirit didn't have enough energy and eventually dissipated. Obviously, the last point did not fit. Otherwise, the little dragon would not have been able to live for so many years. Of course, there was also the possibility that the little dragon would be destroyed if the system was destroyed. That was the only possibility. What's going on? Is some unlucky bastard cursing me? The little dragon wasn't bothered by this question. Since it couldn't figure it out, it went back into slumber. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't know that his words had been sensed by the little dragon. At this moment, Lin Rei didn't have the time to care about these taboos. He recovered from his broken memories, and without raising his head, he waved his hand. The dozen or so guards who were already within reach instantly froze in place. With such a big commotion at the entrance of the capital, how could it not attract attention? Especially the passers-by. At this moment, the entrance of the capital was completely blocked. It was packed with people. However, there was not a single person in the area where Lin Rei was. It was for no other reason than to become stronger. It was for these people to stay and watch the show. Raising his head, Lin Rei's eyes swept across the dozen or so people who were frozen. Looking at them, Lin Rei's eyes became even colder. They were capable enough to injure him. However, he wasn't the kind of person who cherished talent. Moreover, was this group of people? Obviously not. Lin Rei's life was like this. If there was a grudge, there would be a grudge. If there was a grudge, there would be a grudge. In Lin Rei's eyes, it was all nonsense. To be able to injure me, you guys are very capable. Slowly walking in front of the crowd, he slowly tempted them. The coldness on his face became even more intense. It was as if his aura alone could freeze everyone. Unfortunately, you guys have completely angered this sovereign. Previously, this sovereign's family members were injured here. Now it's you guys. Since that's the case, there is no need for this city to remain. My reverse scale, those who touch it will die. After saying that, his figure instantly disappeared. In merely a breath's time, Lin Rei's figure returned to his original position. However, in front of the crowd, Lin Rei's figure never disappeared. At this moment, the crowd's hearts could be said to be very interesting. Because of Lin Rei's words earlier, in their eyes, Lin Rei was a fool. There was a problem with men. He was mentally ill. There was no need for the Guangyun Empire to exist? Who the hell do you think you are? A ruler? Or a creator? Fuck, are you playing around? This thought appeared in the crowd's mind. However, they didn't say anything. Just watch the show. This was the mentality and thought of the passers-by. Regarding this, Lin Rei didn't know. Also, he didn't care to know. Ignoring the crowd's gaze, he took a step forward and walked toward the city. Holy shit, why did that person leave? That's right. Why did he leave? Didn't he say that he was going to tear down the empire? These people aren't easy to kill. What he said earlier was all bullshit. That's right. He really is a poochie. Strange sounds rang out one after another. At this moment, the person who was speaking suddenly stopped talking. His eyes widened as he looked at the scene in front of him. Cold sweat uncontrollably appeared on his forehead. Plop, the scene in front of him exceeded his imagination. His entire body fell to the ground, trembling. His face was as pale as paper. Seeing the man like this, the crowd was puzzled. It was the man who spoke earlier. Everyone's attention was on him. Therefore, when they saw the man like this, they were puzzled. However, as more and more plopping sounds rang out, the crowd felt that something was wrong. In the end, the bloody scene appeared in front of everyone's eyes. Those who were mentally stronger were still fine and didn't express anything. However, those who had never seen blood before, men and women, fell to the ground one by one. They lowered their heads and vomited. The scene was extremely shocking. How is this possible? When? In the field, the dozen or so guards who didn't stop Lin Rei from leaving had blood spurting out of their necks like a fountain. The scene was very bloody. Strangely, the dozen or so guards were still standing there in a daze and didn't fall. Logically speaking, after a person died and lost their entire body, they shouldn't be able to stand properly and maintain their appearance when they were alive. However, now it appeared. Moreover, it was engraved in everyone's minds. They couldn't erase it even if they wanted to. Lin Rei didn't know that everyone was shocked. At this moment, Lin Rei had already walked into the city. The wound on his chest was no longer bleeding. For such a small wound, as long as he wriggled his muscles to block the wound and used his wood attribute spiritual root to heal it, it would be fine. Regarding this as a divine venerable. No, as a saint, if he didn't know how to do this, he would probably be laughed to death. Ignoring the wound, Lin Rei raised his head and looked forward. He released his divine sense and the scene within 1,000 miles appeared in his mind. In his mind, a blue silk thread floated in the air. There were similar things around him, but there weren't many of them. Spiritual body? Looking at the existence of those blue silk threads, Lin Rei suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes flashed with joy. Sure enough, mother came here. Chapter 1095. His original smile disappeared the moment he sensed the spirit body, and it was replaced by boundless anger and killing intent. Since the spirit body had appeared here, it meant that his mother was in danger here. In that case, everyone here could be in danger. In that case, let's go to the palace. Maybe I can find the person I'm looking for faster. I just don't know what the Emperor of the Guangyun Empire will do. Lin Rei didn't want to wait and didn't want to stay in this place. With the existence of the little golden coffin, he couldn't wait to hide in a secluded place and restore his cultivation to the Mahayana realm before ascending. Although it was impossible to ascend in the Tianming realm, at least he had the strength to not know the teleportation array and go to a higher plane to cultivate. But now, forget it, I'll go first. If it doesn't work, I'll just destroy the city. Lin Rei was very disgusted with this method. First, he didn't think he was a bloodthirsty person. Second, he didn't want to expose his identity as a cultivator here. Third, he didn't want his family to be regarded as a monster because of him. But now, if the Emperor of the Guangyun Empire didn't recognize him, the last method was the best. Thinking about it, he looked at the Min siblings beside him. Although he wasn't afraid of the people here, It was still inappropriate to bring 2 children with him. Xueqi, watch these 2 people for me. If something happens to them, you can go sleep with the Tsang dragon. After saying that, he threw Xueqi on the ground. Before Xueqi could react, Lin Rei disappeared at the fastest speed. Ck. Seeing Lin Li walk away, Sanguis dared to say the words in his heart. Mother Ker, why did you give me such a miserable job? What are you thinking? I'm a bloodworm of the great desolate era. Do you think I'm a nanny? Blood Ling seemed to think that Lin Rei couldn't hear him, so the more he spoke, the more excited he became. But only Lin Rei could understand what he was saying. The Min siblings didn't know anything. The 2 of them stared blankly at the small snake on the ground. Their expressions did not relax in the slightest. They had witnessed the might of the small snake before. Back then, they had encountered a very powerful Yao beast. Originally, Lin Rei had wanted to let Min Tianyu take action to see the results of his cultivation. However, in the end, Min Tianyu was no match for the Yao beast and had almost become the Yao beast's snack. Fortunately, just as the demonic beast was about to reach Min Tianyu, the little snake made its move. Its body instantly became huge, and a bloody mouth appeared, swallowing the demonic beast directly. This scene stunned Min Tianyu and Min Rongrong. Ever since that day, the Min siblings would be very nervous when they saw the little snake. They were so nervous that they did not dare to speak. They were like electric poles standing there. Finally, after scolding for a long time, the little dragon swayed its petite body to the bottom of a nearby building. It raised its tail and waved at Min Tianyu and Min Rongrong, asking them to come over. The 2 of them did not resist the little snake's order. They nodded their heads stiffly and followed behind the little snake with small steps. They stood behind the little snake and did not speak. As for the Min siblings, the little dragon did not care. It just lay on the ground and seemed to be asleep. However, its divine consciousness was always vigilant to check if there was any danger around. On the other side, Lin Rei left without stopping. His figure flashed quickly and arrived at the Imperial Palace in the eyes of the world. Standing on the city wall and looking at the Imperial Palace in front of him, Lin Rei could do nothing but sigh. This place is very similar to the Imperial Palace in Huaxia. It's just like this. After all, this is an empire that controls millions of miles of territory. The Imperial Palace is actually so small. Yes, it was small. In Lin Rei's eyes, this place was not even comparable to his Xuanzong sect. However, although it was small, it still had the aura of an emperor. For example, the layout of the Imperial Palace was very good. Although it was small, the decorations were not bad at all. It looked very luxurious and full of gold. The swaying man threw away all the useless things and released his divine consciousness. The layout of the Imperial Palace appeared in Lin Rei's mind. Found it. It was not difficult at all. If one wanted to find a person with divine consciousness, it would be useless even if they were hidden deep underground. Of course, unless there were some array formations that isolated divine consciousness, Lin Rei was not afraid. Within his consciousness, in the depths of the Imperial Palace, there was a huge courtyard. A young man in yellow training clothes was holding a long sword at this moment. He was brandishing a huge set of clothes in his hands. It could be said that he was full of vigor and vigor. Emperor, Tesesa. Looking at this man, other than sighing, Lin Li's expression also had a trace of pity. A genius with a fire spiritual root of the highest quality. Over the years, he has become such a waste. What a pity. At this moment, it was fortunate that there was no one around. It was even more fortunate that no one knew Lin Rei. Otherwise, his words just now would be enough to shock them to death. What did he mean by a talent that was not bad but became a waste of time? No matter what, he was still a martial saint. How did it become a ruin in your eyes? The emperor of the empire, Li Huangdao, was an early-stage martial sage. He defeated the main force of the empire with his strength alone. He was humble and decisive. Now, in Lin Rei's eyes, Lin Rei's words were simply unbearable. After checking, he stepped into the air and quickly rushed towards Li Huangdao's location. It's that person? At this moment, in a secret room deep in the Imperial Palace, an old man who was cultivating suddenly opened his eyes. A light flashed in his eyes and his expression was full of vigilance. Based on the aura of the person who came, he could tell that the other party was the spiritual body that had collapsed earlier. Thinking of Lin Rei's strength, the old man sighed in his heart. Forget it. Even if I go out, the result will not change much. Thinking of this, his vigilant expression faded. He closed his eyes again and went back to cultivating. If Li Huangdao knew what the old man was thinking, he would probably kill himself. What did he mean by the result will not change much? All right, even if the result will not change, you should at least tell me the other party's strength. Unfortunately, Li Huangdao did not know. At this moment, he was still immersed in his sword intent and did not notice that someone had come to his side. Gulp, the sound of flowing water was heard, followed by Lin Rei's voice. This tea is not bad. Unfortunately, Jian Wushuang's tea is too weak. Who is it? Li Huangdao reacted. Lin Rei's voice was so loud that if he did not reflect on himself, Lin Rei would think that Li Huangdao was deaf. He put down his teacup and looked at Emperor Li. A smile flashed across his face as he said, I am Lin Li, and I came here to ask who hurt my mother before this. Who is it that has joined the family? Find out who it is and I will let bygones be bygones. Otherwise, the smile disappeared and killing intent surged. Oh. Otherwise what? Without fear in his heart, Lin Rei asked. The entire imperial palace is the price for not doing as you are told. Chapter 1096. Lin Rei's threatening words instantly stirred up Li Huangdao's calm heart. *CK. He's here to pick a fight. Li Huangdao was now certain that the young man in front of him was here to pick a fight, but his bragging was a little too much. Using the entire empire as the price, you bastard, why don't you go to heaven? At this moment, Li Huangdao was extremely displeased with Lin Rei. Disturbing his opinion was already a capital offense, but now he was still so arrogant and insufferably arrogant. If he didn't kill him, who would he kill? Humph, little brother, one must learn to judge the situation. Are you sure you want to be enemies with my Guangyun Empire? Little brother? Hearing how Li Huangdao addressed him, Lin Rei's body trembled, he staggered and almost fell to the ground. *CK little brother, I'm old enough to be your great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. Of course, after criticizing in his heart for a long time, he still had a smile on his face. There was no change in his expression. Lin Rei had already seen through Li Huangdao. It would be impossible for him to easily give the answer he wanted. Since that was the case, he might as well take action and save himself the trouble. After thinking it through, he raised his head and looked at Li Huangdao, killing intent flashing in his eyes. Little brat, as you said, one must learn to judge the situation. Don't be fooled by appearances, or you will suffer a great loss. For example. Now, as soon as he finished speaking, Lin Rei's figure instantly disappeared, as if he had never been there. How? Lin Rei's disappearance shocked Li Huangdao quite a bit. After all, people of this level were not famous in the destiny boundary. When Lin Rei disappeared, Li Huangdao's heart inexplicably panicked, but he soon calmed down. After all, he had been here for a long time and was used to seeing big scenes, so there was nothing strange about it. In the instant that Lin Li disappeared, Li Huangdao instantly spread out his senses, inspecting every single blade of grass, every single tree, every single change in the elemental energy ripples around him. For a martial saint, this was easy and pleasant. There was no pressure at all. However, in the next moment, Li Huangdao's face turned solemn. He could not sense Lin Rei's figure at all, not even a trace of his aura. This made Li Huangdao very confused. This shouldn't be the case. Why is this happening? Sensing his surroundings, he scanned his surroundings vigilantly. Now that the other party had not appeared, he could be in danger at any moment. There's nothing wrong with it. Right at this moment, in this quiet space, Lin Li's voice seemed to come from all directions, catching Li Huangdao somewhat off guard. How exactly did you do it? Looking around, searching for Lin Rei's figure, he asked. Li Huangdao was very confused about this. If a martial saint could not sense a person, then this person either had a very powerful cultivation method or a very powerful cultivation. There was no way to escape from these two choices. In the dark, Lin Rei looked at Li Huangdao in panic for a moment, then calmed down. Seeing this, Lin Rei admired Li Huangdao a little. Little guy, don't waste your energy. Even if the martial god of your empire is here, I'm afraid he can sense my presence. Do you think he doesn't know that I'm here? He knows that I'm here. If I'm not wrong, the martial god of your empire has already met with my spiritual body. Now that I'm here, he knows that I'm very powerful, so he doesn't dare to appear. Do you think you are a match for me? Or is it that the martial god is your true backer? You actually... Li Huangdao was shocked. Although it was no secret that there was a martial god in the empire, Li Huangdao had mixed feelings when he learned from Lin Rei that the martial god of his empire had met him. If it was really as Lin Rei said, then... didn't that mean that Lin Rei's cultivation was... Thinking of this, Li Huangdao's eyes changed when he looked at Lin Rei. He was no longer looking at Lin Rei with contempt and arrogance. Instead, he became vigilant and could not let his guard down. From the information just now, he sensed that the young man in front of him might be even more powerful than the old ancestor of his empire. If that was the case, then the young man in front of him was a martial god, or even a martial god in the Great Perfection realm. Not to mention the 4 great empires, only the sects would have such a cultivation level. Lin Rei did not know what Li Huangdao was thinking. Looking at Li Huangdao's changing expression, Lin Rei sneered. How about it? I'll give you another chance to choose. Do you want to find someone for me, or do you want your empire to be destroyed in your hands? Lin Rei asked again. However, he did not appear. He was ready to fight at any time. If Li Huangdao still did not agree, then he would be serious. Who cares what other people think? As long as he was happy, he did not care about anything else. Silence. Silence replaced all of Li Huangdao's thoughts. He could not figure out Lin Rei's strength. Now that the old ancestor had not come out of seclusion and Rua Lin was really a martial god, the entire empire would be in trouble. As the emperor of the empire, he could not afford to offend such a murderous god over such a small matter. As the saying goes, a wise man submits to circumstances. As a smart man, of course, he chose to agree. Looking up at Lin Rei, Li Huangdao nodded. I can help you find someone. Lin Rei did not say anything. Usually, there would be a but after this sentence. He believed that Li Huangdao had not finished his sentence. But, sure enough, Lin Rei's thought came true. Li Huangdao blurted out his but. Well, tell me, what is your but? Lin Rei believed that it was inhumane to make a horse work without feeding it. Similarly, from now on, you will not attack the Guangyun Empire, no matter what the reason is. How about it? Ha! Hearing this condition, Lin Li didn't frown. But then, as if he had thought of something, he nodded and said, All right, I agree to your condition. Since that's the case, help me find him. It's a deal. Seeing Lin Rei agree, Li Huangdao was excited. However, he understood that now was not the time to be excited. Finding someone was the most important thing. Tell me, who are you looking for? Why would you send out a great Buddha like you? Li Huangdao said. His expression was full of curiosity. He wanted to know what kind of person could make a martial god come out. He scanned the surroundings with his gaze, waiting for the other party's answer. My mother appeared in your capital before. However, she seemed to have encountered something that triggered the jade talisman I placed on my mother's body and shattered it. I really want to know who it was that dared to touch my family. Remember my words, no one can touch my mother. Whoever touches her will die. Do you understand? Chapter 1097. Mother? Stunned, Li Huangdao stared at his surroundings. Hearing this answer, he was stunned. But then, he was filled with boundless rage. Not only did Lin Li want to find that person, even he wanted to see for himself who it was that dared to act so audaciously against the family of a war god. Isn't this just the god of longevity hanging himself? Is he tired of living? Furthermore, if you want to die, don't drag me down with you. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that he had been tricked. If it wasn't for this, perhaps he wouldn't be so passive. This was the first time he was treated like this. He felt as if there was a cold light on his back, as if he would lose his life at any moment. Cold sweat flowed down his face, and his face turned slightly pale. That's all. As for helping me find out about the previous fights in the city, tell me when I come over tomorrow. As he spoke, Lin Li's figure appeared by Li Huangdao's side, and he strode outside. Damn, it can't be right? He's just beside me? Looking at Lin Rei's figure, Li Huangdao was already numb. Today, Lin Rei had brought him too much shock, and this meal made him numb. Oh right, don't try to hide it, otherwise. Lin Rei stopped at the door and reminded Li Huangdao who was behind him. At the same time, he looked around, and his eyes were filled with coldness. Understood, understood, understood. Don't worry, I will definitely tell you the answer you want to know. I won't dare to hide anything. And that's good. I hope you can do as you say. After saying that, Lin Rei stepped into the air and left. Damn it, after watching Lin Rei's figure disappear from his sight, Li Huangdao fell to the ground as if he had lost all his strength. His clothes were soaked in cold sweat. Looks like I have to go to the great ancestor's place. Looking at the direction Lin Rei left, Li Huangdao recovered for a while, then got up and walked towards the depths of the imperial palace. As for the treasured sword on the ground, Li Huangdao was not in the mood to care about it. Right now, he only wanted to know what was going on, and what was the cultivation of that young man just now. If he wanted to know the answer, he could only go to the place where his ancestor lived. With that thought in mind, he sped up, and his body turned into a series of afterimages as he disappeared into the depths of the Emperor Palace. At that moment, the great ancestor of the empire was sitting among them, and he knew that Emperor Li was coming. He withdrew from his cultivation and quietly waited for Li Huangdao's arrival. Although he had long since withdrawn from the matters of the empire, it was still his father who had founded the empire. He did not want the empire to disappear. Time passed by slowly. After a few minutes, Li Huangdao rushed to the door of a secret room. He reached out his hand and knocked on the door. Knock, knock, knock. Great ancestor, your descendant Li Huangdao has come to report. Please meet me. He cupped his hands and bowed respectfully. Come in. I've been waiting for you for a long time. An old voice rushed out of the room and entered Li Huangdao's ears. Yes. He bowed and got up to open the door. An old man appeared in Li Huangdao's field of vision. Looking at the old man, Li Huangdao did not say anything. He strode to the old man and knelt down with a plop. All kinds of complicated formalities appeared. Just like that, a long time was wasted. Finally, Li Huangdao finished all the complicated formalities. He then raised his head and did not beat around the bush. He said bluntly, Great ancestor, someone came just now. His cultivation is very strong. He asked me to help him find his mother. Moreover, that person also said that you have seen that person's spiritual body before. I wonder if this matter, it's true. Before Li Huangdao could finish, the old man directly replied, that person is very strong. So strong that it makes me feel ashamed. It's like I was a baby in front of that person. I couldn't fight back at all. The old man seemed to recall what had happened before. His body could not help but tremble. How is it possible? If what you said is true, then that person's cultivation is beyond the realm of martial god. Li Huangdao was shocked. He was completely shocked. It was beyond Li Huangdao's imagination. That's right. That person's cultivation has reached an unimaginable level. Therefore, you must try your best to fulfill his request. Do not neglect him. Otherwise, the end result will be the destruction of the empire and it will cease to exist. I understand. He got the answer he wanted. Although the answer was a little unsatisfactory, it was still within his expectations. Oh, by the way, great ancestor, that person just said that his mother was bullied in the capital. You also said that you have seen that person's spiritual body before. Do you know who bullied his mother? That person asked me to tell him the answer tomorrow. Now, I have no clue at all. Li Huangdao could not help but smile bitterly when he thought of Lin Rei's strength. When he thought of how he had overestimated his own strength and wanted to fight with him, he felt that it was very funny. That person's mother? Li Huangdao's words stunned the old man. Damn it, I did see a woman when I went there previously. However, that woman was too young. Although he did not know whether it was true or not, he still said it. I did see one before, but that person was so young that I did not pay too much attention to her. Oh? Who was it? Li Huangdao's eyes lit up when he heard the great ancestor's words. He said excitedly, Tell me quickly, who did it? Seeing Li Huangdao's reaction, he smiled and said, It was your beloved concubines underground. That guy even wanted to do something to her mother. What? Lu family? He was dumbfounded. He did not expect that the person who hurt his mother was from his beloved concubine's family. If that was the case, did that not mean that the royal family was also involved? It's time for the Liu family to take action. Ever since you married that girl, the Liu family has become more and more rampant. They are using the name of the royal family to commit crimes outside. Of course, this is still up to you. After all, I am no longer in charge of the affairs of the imperial palace. The specifics are still up to you. He hesitated. He liked the daughter of the Liu family very much. He also knew some of the Liu family's actions. However, because of the Liu family's daughter, he turned a blind eye to it. However, now it seemed that he was wrong. All right, you don't have to stay here. That's all I have to say. I'll leave the rest to you. The Liu family. Do as you see fit. After saying that, a gentle energy gushed out from the old man's hand and turned into an invisible hand that pushed Li Huangdao out of the door. With a muffled bang, the door closed and the secret room fell into silence. Outside the door, Li Huangdao looked at the door of the secret room with a complicated expression. Now that he knew the answer, the price he had to pay for it was a huge blow to him. He did not know if he should tell them about the Liu family. F***ck, this is really F***king disgusting. Chapter 1098. Li Huangdao cursed in his heart, then turned and left. If he wanted Linli to settle the matter with the Liu family, then the final outcome would be to send the Liu family out to be slaughtered by Linli. But if that was the case, then the girls of the Liu family. Thinking of his beloved concubine, Li Huangdao had a headache. He did not expect that the Liu family would provoke such a powerful existence because of his connivance. He left the imperial palace and walked slowly on the street. At this moment, he was not in a hurry. Since he was already here, he only needed to wait and everything would be done. Walking on the street, looking at the busy traffic and flowers, Lin Rei felt that he could not blend in. The world of mortals is like this. With a long sigh, Lu Chongtian's figure appeared in his mind. He wondered why his disciple would appear here, and why was Lu Chongtian with his mother? Why did they come here? A big question flashed in Lin Rei's mind. He did not understand why his mother would appear here. As for the Lin family, how was it now? Lu Chongtian, who was far away from the capital, did not know that while he was waiting for Hong Si to recover, Lin Rei, his master, had already arrived at the Guangyun Empire and went straight to the imperial palace to seek help from the imperial lord. If Lu Chongtian knew about such boldness, he would be speechless. But unfortunately, Lu Chongtian did not know. At this moment, he was still waiting. I wonder where this brat is now. While walking, Lin Rei released his divine sense to search for Lu Chongtian's whereabouts. At first, he thought that Lu Chongtian should still be in the capital, but he did not find Lu Chongtian's figure along the way. Now that he thought about it, Lu Chongtian was probably not here. Thinking about it, he shook his head with a wry smile and stopped searching. He withdrew his divine sense and continued to stroll leisurely like an old man. The only thing missing was that he was carrying a birdcage. Lin Rei was happy and relaxed, but Li Huangdao, on the other hand, was not the same. He panicked when he thought about how quickly the day would pass. How can I kill two birds with one stone? Not only can I hand over the Liu family, but I can also protect my wife from being implicated. Ruolin and Lei knew what he was thinking. They were afraid that other than a sneer, there was some other expression on their faces. Even a hero could not resist the charms of a beauty? What did it have to do with him? All he wanted was the name of the Liu family. As for who he would kill, that would depend on the situation. Xia. The sound of a door opening entered Li Huangdao's ears. Li Huangdao, who was deep in thought, snapped out of his thoughts when he heard this sound. He turned his head and saw a seemingly weak but well-educated woman appear in front of him. Why are you here? Lu Linglong, the youngest daughter of the Liu family, was now Li Huangdao's wife. Her cultivation was close to the martial king realm. She had broken through to the martial king realm at such a young age. She was a shocking genius. After entering, she saw Li Huangdao frowning. He looked like he had a lot on his mind. She did not know why, but her heart suddenly tightened. She felt like something had happened that Li Huangdao could not solve. Yi Futian walked towards Li Huangdao and smiled. Huangdao, what's the matter? Li Huangdao asked. As the ruler of an empire, she had never seen Li Huangdao with such an expression. No, never. Even when the army was pressing on the border, Li Huangdao's expression would not change. But now, what had happened? Lu Linglong did not know, but as a smart woman, she knew that if Li Huangdao did not want to say, she would pretend that she did not know anything. Sometimes, pretending to be stupid was a blessing. It's nothing. Li Huangdao did not tell her about the Lu family. He did not want to see Lu Linglong fall out with him because of this. But to Lin Rei, he still had to tell him about the Lu family. Otherwise, the entire empire would be in danger. Even if there were some contradictions, even if Lu Linglong found out that the truth was in his favor, he did not care. At least he had to get through this. Looking at Lu Linglong's smile, Li Huangdao made a decision. He got up and led Lu Linglong outside. The weather is good today. Let me take you out for a walk. Okay. After Lin Rei came out of the imperial palace, he walked slowly to the place where he had agreed to meet with Xueqi Tian. Along the way, he saw people coming and going, which made him feel better. Xuanwu Street, the place where he had agreed to meet with Xueqi Tian. Lin Rei looked around and saw the Min siblings sitting obediently in the corner. As for Blood Spirit Sky, he was currently lying down to one side, sleeping comfortably. He was living a very comfortable and carefree life. Looking at Blood Spirit Sky, Linley was stunned. His eyes narrowed, and he took a step forward, instantly arriving in front of Blood Spirit Sky. Not bad. Xueqi Tian. Sleeping happily. What did I ask you to do? His voice was accompanied by a terrifying pressure that crushed down on Xueqi Tian. Boom! A muffled sound echoed in Xueqi Tian's mind. He could not move his body. Xueqi Tian, who had fallen into a deep sleep, woke up from his dream. Damn it! He could see Lin Rei's figure, but he did not even have the strength to raise his head. It could not be said that he did not have the strength. It could only be said that his body was no longer under his control. When did you come? He asked Lin Rei through divine sense. Just now, you brat. I asked you to look after these two brats, but you actually fell asleep. Did I ask you to come here to sleep? Lin Rei had had enough of Xueqi Tian's laziness. However, he also understood that this was his nature. There was nothing he could do about it. He wanted to retort, but it was true that he had fallen asleep just now. Thus, he didn't retort and closed his eyes again, looking as if he could do whatever he wanted. Damn it. Seeing Xueqi Tian's current state, Lin Rei's heart shook. Anger rose. Fine, it seems it's time for the Azure Dragons to teach you a lesson. Since you dare to remain silent, let's see if you can still remain silent when the time comes. After saying that, Lin Rei ignored Xueqi Tian and went to the Min siblings. After eating, return to your rooms to cultivate. Without my permission, do not take a single step out of your rooms. Understand? Understood. The Min siblings did not dare to hesitate or question Lin Rei's orders. Don't be fooled by Linley's normally amiable and harmless appearance. In truth, Linley was even more terrifying than the Blood Spirit Sky. The obedient Dian Dian stood to the side, not daring to speak. Lin Rei did not say anything. They could do whatever they wanted. After making up his mind, he kicked Xueqi Tian and left with the Min siblings. They found a restaurant to stay in. As for Xueqi Tian, he continued to follow Lin Rei without any complaints. As for whether he had any complaints, only he knew. Chapter 1099. Time passed quickly. In the blink of an eye, Lin Rei had been in the capital for a day. Since entering the imperial palace, Lin Rei had been staying in the inn and had not left. Outside the city, Lu Changtian sat here and waited for Hong Si for a while. He regretted that he had hit Hong Si too hard while checking his injuries. In this regard, he could not help but marvel at the elixir that Lin Rei gave him. It should take a long time to recover from broken limbs. However, a single elixir could almost heal this kind of injury in 1 or 2 days, although the bones might not be used to it. After checking that Hong Si's injuries were almost healed, Lu Changtian finally smiled. Damn, it's finally healed. He got up and came to Hong Si's side and said, Get up quickly. I gave you the elixir to heal you, not to let you enjoy life. Hong Si, who was recovering, heard this voice and opened his eyes. He nodded with fear in his eyes. Senpai, we are now, as he spoke. He got up and patted the dust off his body. He frowned slightly when he felt some pain in his limbs. To kill someone. Since you're awake, accompany me to kill someone. Let's settle our previous scores. With that, Lu Chongtian did not waste any more time. He took Hong Si to Guochong at an astonishing speed. Having wasted some time, Lu Chongtian wanted to end this matter as soon as possible so that he could return to the Divine Valley to cultivate and break through the martial god's nascent soul transformation realm. Thinking of this, his heart trembled and he sped up. This made Hong Si, who was behind him, a little speechless. He still had a smile on his face, but he was crying in his heart. What did it mean to suffer in silence? What did it mean to be speechless? What did it mean to swallow your broken teeth? Hong Si was the best example at this moment. Lu Chongtian sped up, and he had to speed up as well. His limbs had just been reconnected, and speeding up might cause his limbs to break again. But he had no choice. He did not dare to stop, or he could not guarantee that he would survive. In the capital, Lu Chongtian brought Hong Si to the entrance of the Long residence. Long Yaoyang seemed to have known that Lu Chongtian was coming in advance. He was waiting at the entrance. When he saw Lu Chongtian, he smiled and stepped forward to welcome him. Senior Lu Chongtian, you're finally here. As he spoke, a piece of paper appeared in front of Lu Chongtian. Senior, this is the list that you asked me to prepare. Everything that you want is on it. Long Yaoyang went straight to the point and was very decisive. You didn't miss anything, right? Lu Chongtian frowned as he took the paper and looked at the names of the clans and sects that were densely packed together. Among them, he saw the name of the Guangyun Empire. Of course, the Cloud Wind sect was among them as well. These two colossal forces both had martial gods overseeing them. Looking at these two names, Lu Chongtian let out a long sigh. His face became solemn. It seems that I have to go all out this time. Behind him, Hong Si heard Lu Chongtian's words. His face suddenly changed, and he muttered in his heart, "Damn, it can't be." He had seen Lu Chongtian's strength. He was in the martial venerable realm. If Lu Chongtian went all out, how strong would his opponent be? Martial venerable? Martial sage? Or, damn, it can't be martial god, can it? Hong Si was scared when he thought of a possibility. Damn, I don't understand the world of the strong. He didn't want to think further, for he was afraid that what he thought would come true. In front of him, Lu Chongtian looked at the paper for a long time. He came to his senses and put the paper away. He looked up at Long Yaoyang and said, "You've done a good job. Although some of them are what the Long clan is facing now, I don't mind helping you get rid of them for the sake of you and Long Ming." Boom. Long Yaoyang's body suddenly changed and his face changed slightly. He understood what Lu Chongtian meant, but he didn't say anything. He just nodded and didn't say anything. Looking at Long Yaoyang, Lu Chongtian nodded and turned to walk away with Hong Si. That's it. The Long clan can't participate in this. Keep the Long clan members as little as possible during this period. The capital. I'm afraid it's going to be a mess. Even a fool would understand what he meant. Looking at Lu Chongtian, Long Yaoyang bowed deeply and then ordered all the disciples of the Long clan to come back and not go out. At this moment, Lu Chongtian left with Hong Si, unaware of Long Yaoyang's arrangement. Senior, we're going to... Seeing that Lu Chongtian didn't say a word, but his murderous aura seemed to be endless, Hong Si was very nervous. The Lu clan. The Lu clan? Hong Si was shocked. He knew very well where the Lu clan was, but the Lu clan members participated in the previous siege and were the first on the list. Therefore, the Lu clan will be completely destroyed. Gulp. Hearing Lu Chongtian's murderous voice, Hong Si's heart skipped a beat. He swallowed hard and the fear in his heart was forever. Damn it, who are these people? Why do they want to destroy the entire clan? Can't they just play around? Is the world I've been living in fake? Ever since he was defeated by Lu Chongtian, Hong Si began to doubt how he had lived his previous life. You don't have to do anything when we get there. Find a quiet place and heal your injuries. Try to heal your limbs in these 2 days because you'll be in big trouble later. Regardless of whether Hong Si was willing or not, he had already told him the result. It was up to him to do it. Hong Si nodded and didn't say anything else. He was just like a baby who wanted to know how to behave after Lu Chongtian was born. Well, of course, he looked a little different. The Lu clan was a huge clan located in the center of the imperial city. Naturally, they occupied a large area. Especially after their daughter was favored, the Lu clan expanded to boundless size. Lu Chongtian finally arrived at the gate of the Lu clan with Hong Si. Looking at the gate of the Lu clan, Lu Chongtian was stunned. This shouldn't be worse than the imperial palace, right? Thinking about the entrance of the Long family, compared to it, it was like a small child meeting a big one. How could it be compared? Let's go, he said to Hong Si behind him and walked toward the Lu clan. Clang! The sound of weapons colliding was heard. Two guards at the gate saw Lu Chongtian coming and reached out with their weapons to block Lu Chongtian's path. Who are you? Don't you need to tell the Lu clan's brothers that outsiders are not allowed to enter? At this moment, one of the guards spoke. Oh, is that so? Looking at the two guards, Lu Chongtian's face became gloomier. He was here to kill, so he naturally didn't say anything to them. As soon as he finished speaking, a hand moved quickly and came to the front of one of the guards in an instant, choking his neck. The Lu clan must be destroyed today. Chapter 1100. Carrying a guard. He shouted at the top of his lungs. His voice was mixed with Yuanli, and he didn't care about the Lu family at all. His voice was so loud that it seemed to pierce through the sky. Within a radius of 10,000 meters, it was Lu Chongtian's voice. Lu family. Lu Qingzhou was originally waiting for news from Hong Si. After all, with Hong Si's strength, Lu Qingzhou believed that he should be able to complete the task soon. Just as Lu Qingzhou was having a headache dealing with family affairs, Lu Chongtian's voice came into Lu Qingzhou's ears. With a bang, the jade slip in his hand fell on the table. He looked up at the door and frowned. His face became gloomy. Since the Lu family was built in the capital, no one had dared to provoke the Lu family so unscrupulously for 100 years. Now, there was such a reckless person. This was not only a provocation to the Lu family, but also a provocation to Lu Qingzhou. How could he tolerate this? Bang! The door was pushed open. A subordinate walked in and came to Lu Qingzhou. He bowed and said, "Family head. Go. Send someone to capture this reckless fool. Skin him alive, pull out his tendons, and light up a sky lantern. Let everyone in the capital know that the Lu family is not something they can invade. And this is the result of offending the Lu family. Even the 9 generations will die." Lu Qingzhou said. His words were full of indifference and murderous intent. It seemed that he was really angry. "Yes, I will go now." As Lu Qingzhou's guard, he naturally understood what he meant. He didn't delay and turned to leave. Dong! The door was closed. Lu Qingzhou's face looked better, but his previous mood was completely gone. Dealing with family affairs no longer existed. Lu Qingzhou was already sad about Lu Tianxiang's death. Now that this happened, Lu Qingzhou couldn't accept it. At the gate of the Lu family, after shouting to the Lu family, the sound of bones breaking came to everyone's ears. "You!" When the other guard heard the sound of bones breaking, his expression changed. As a martial artist, he naturally knew what this meant. His companions, his fellow clansmen, had been chatting and laughing just a moment ago, but now, they were all dead. Moreover, he could not accept this kind of death. He had never thought that someone would dare to be so unscrupulous in front of the gate of the Lu clan. His body slowly retreated backward. He was afraid. His previous threatening tone towards Lu Chongtian made him feel like he was courting death. Yes, courting death. Facing someone who was stronger than him and not afraid of the Lu clan, what else could it be other than courting death? Bang! With a loud bang, Lu Chongtian threw away the weapon in his hand. He looked at the other guard who was retreating and trying to escape. Murderous intent flashed across his eyes as he looked at him. His tone was cold as he said, "Can we talk?" "I have already said that today, the Lu family must perish. It doesn't matter who comes. Do you want me to become a person who breaks my promises?" After saying that, his figure flashed quickly. Crack! The sound of another number was heard. The 2 guards outside the Lu family were easily killed. However, this was not the end. Because Lu Tianxiang's actions had already determined the fate of the Lu family. Death was the only path that the Lu family could face now. Lu Chongtian did not care about the 2 dead people at all. It shouldn't be difficult for you to deal with the small fries outside, right? He said to Hong Si without looking back. He believed that although Hong Si's limbs had not fully recovered, he could still deal with these people. Otherwise, he would not be a martial arts grandmaster. Hong Si's answer did not disappoint Lu Changtian. He nodded and said, "No problem. You can go in. Leave the outside to me. Okay. Be careful. Leave no one alive." He nodded and stepped into the gate of the Lin family. The street outside the gate of the Lu family was already crowded at this moment. Everyone had different expressions on their faces. Some were gloating, some were regretful, some were angry, and some were just watching a show. Most of these people had been persecuted by Lu Tianxiang, especially those with cold and murderous expressions. They could not wait for the Lu family to perish so that their persecuted families could rest in peace. Lu Changtian did not have a chance to deal with the outside of the Lu family. Hong Si alone was enough. Lu Changtian was not worried at all about this. As for the Lu family? Oh, the best cultivation in the Lu family just now was the martial arts grandmaster great completeness. There were no martial venerables. Of course, even if there were martial arts grandmasters, Lu Changtian was not afraid at all. Even the martial arts sage Lu Changtian could be killed, let alone martial venerables at the same level. He used the butterfly steps and quickly avoided some unnecessary people. He wanted cultivators above the martial king realm. Hong Si could deal with cultivators below the martial king realm. As for martial kings, with the strength of Hong Si's limbs, it would be difficult for him to deal with them. "Bastard! Do you know that this is the Lu family? Don't you know that the young lady of the Lu family is now the emperor's woman? Do you?" Just as Lu Changtian was about to enter the inner courtyard of the Lu family, a group of people rushed out and blocked Lu Changtian's way. One of the martial kings walked out and pointed at Lu Changtian to threaten him. "Bastard, come here quickly. Kneel on the ground and kowtow a few times. Maybe I'll be happy and leave your corpse intact." "Ha ha ha, old sure you're right." Lu Changtian, who was now opposite them, looked very ugly. This was the first time he had been provoked today. Lu Changtian did not understand. He really could not figure out where the people of the Lu family got the confidence to make them act like this. Did they think that in this world, other than the Lu family, no one else was strong? He really could not figure it out. However, Lu Changtian abandoned this thought. He did not want to think about it anymore because it was not important to him. What was important was that these people in front of him had to die. They dared to have evil thoughts about Huayun. It did not matter if it was them or not, as long as they were related to them. Seeing them speak without restraint, Lu Changtian did not do anything but sneer. "Oh, you're still not talking? Good. In that case, old sure, go and kill him. Let him know that the Lu family..." Whoosh! Gotcha! The voice stopped abruptly. Before the man finished speaking, his voice stopped. Everyone's eyes widened. Their faces were filled with disbelief and horror. Their bodies could not help but retreat. The man who spoke before now had one hand on his neck. His head seemed to have lost the support of his spine and was tilted to the side. "You talk too much nonsense. Only death can make you completely quiet." Chapter 1101. The slaughter had begun. This time, it was Lu Changtian's true annihilation of an entire clan. For the first time, if they had not touched Huayun, Lu Changtian would not have done this. Even if it was because of the Lin family, Lu Changtian would not have done such a thing. His figure quickly rushed out, shuttling back and forth between the group of martial kings and martial emperors. Lu Changtian used the exquisite separation technique in his hand. Everything that Lu Changtian had returned to him was used at once. 90% of the dozen or so people had already fallen. As for the rest, Lu Changtian didn't bother with them because there was no need to. The rest of them hadn't reached the martial king realm, so Lu Changtian didn't bother with them. Moreover, with Hong Si blocking the door, it was impossible for these people to leave even if they wanted to. Ignoring the remaining people, he continued to walk deeper. Along the way, it was inevitable that he would encounter some powerful cultivators. Without exception, they were all killed by Lu Changtian. On the other hand, Lin Rui came to the imperial palace as he had agreed with Li Huangdao. He followed the path that he had taken before, and came to the place where he had met Li Huangdao. As soon as he entered the courtyard, he saw Li Huangdao off in the distance, quietly waiting for him. Li Huangdao no longer had the arrogance and disdain from yesterday. Aside from being obedient, the only thing Linley could see in his eyes was fear. It seems that this little guy has already met that martial god. But this is good. At least it will make things easier. After thinking about it, he smiled and did not say anything. He came to Li Huangdao's side and looked at him, saying, "How is it? Did you find out about the matter I asked you to investigate yesterday?" Turning around and seeing Lin Rei, Li Huangdao quickly bowed and said respectfully, "Senior, I sent people to investigate what you said. There is indeed one thing that matches what you said. Earlier, the son of Lu Qingzhou wanted to attack a woman in front of the Heavenly Fragrance Drunk Gate, but he was saved by an expert. Lu Qingzhou's son, Lu Tianxiang, was also killed by that expert. Conservatively speaking, that expert was at least a martial honorable. After that expert killed a few martial emperors and martial kings and left. As for where exactly he went, As he spoke, a bitter smile appeared on his face. There was nothing he could do about it. Although the empire was powerful, if they wanted to investigate a martial honorable, unless a martial saint made a move, it would be impossible. Revered martial artist? Hearing the information from Li Huangdao, Lin Rei could basically confirm that the person who was bullied by Lu Chongtian was his mother, and that martial venerable could only be Lu Chongtian. Yes, it's the Lu family. Alright, I understand. Before Li Huangdao could finish, Lin Rei's voice rang out. His voice was indifferent and emotionless, but Li Huangdao could feel the extreme anger in Lin Rei's heart. It seemed that he was really angry. Turning around, ignoring Li Huangdao, he walked out. After Lin Rei left, the silent space disappeared with Lin Rei's figure. Huff huff, too strong. Just his aura alone is so strong. Li Huangdao was very shocked by the oppressive feeling just now. I really don't know how strong this person's cultivation is. Inside the Lu family, Lu Chongtian had killed his way here. At this moment, Lu Chongtian finally met someone who could make him open his eyes. Good. Finally an interesting person. Looking at the young man, Lu Chongtian spoke softly. Looking at Lu Chongtian, the man was stunned. His face instantly became gloomy, and his voice was filled with killing intent. You are the one who came to my Lu family and threatened to destroy my Lu family? This person was none other than the subordinate who was sent by Lu Qingzhou to capture Lu Chongtian. Yes. Lu Chongtian nodded without hesitation. In his opinion, there was no need to hide. Then die. As soon as Lu Chongtian finished speaking, the man moved. His figure turned into a shadow and disappeared in front of Lu Chongtian. Interesting. The man's disappearance did not scare Lu Chongtian. However, Lu Chongtian felt that the man was a bit interesting. It was not because of the man's cultivation, but because of the man's speed of improvement. This step doesn't look very advanced, but it can increase your speed. It's not simple. Lu Chongtian commented. You have some insight, but it's useless. This can't prevent your fate of being killed. However, you should feel gratified to be able to die under Yesher Bu. The man's voice came from all directions. Yesher Bu? He had never heard of this name before. However, looking at the speed of the man's steps, it should have reached the standard. Otherwise it would be impossible for him to have such speed. With the man's current speed, he should be able to reach the peak of martial great realm, or even close to the speed of an early-stage martial revered realm. Puchi! The sound of something breaking through the air came from behind. Coldness instantly engulfed Lu Chongtian's heart. You're courting death. Although Lu Chongtian did not understand Yesher Bu, it was a pity that the man had not completely mastered it. Otherwise, his speed would be even faster. At the same time, there was a fatal flaw. The difference in cultivation between the man and Lu Chongtian was a fixed condition. There was no way to make up for it. So what if the man had steps to replace it? Did Lu Chongtian not have them? What a joke. Hearing the sound of something breaking through the air behind him, Lu Chongtian tilted his head to the left. A 1-meter-long cold light rushed out from behind him. The cold light on the light made one's hair stand on end. This sword was very powerful. If not for Lu Chongtian's cultivation and strong perception, he would have been hit by this sword. Your speed is not bad, but your explosive power is still not enough. After dodging the sword, Lu Changtian quickly retreated, leaving the range of the man's attack. At this time, Lu Changtian could not help but open his mouth to give the man pointers. The atmosphere completely changed. What was originally a battle of life and death was now turned into a sparring session. Especially the man, after hearing Lu Changtian's pointers, his face instantly darkened. Originally, the man had already lost face after not being able to hit the target with one attack. Now that he was being taught sword techniques by the other party, he could not accept this. Son of AB***, shut up. Angry, he raised his sword and roared at Lu Changtian. Following that, he used Yeshurbu again and disappeared in front of Lu Changtian's eyes. AI, forget it. Since you don't have a good memory, then there's nothing I can do. Anyway, it's useless for a dead person to know. Yes, it's enough. Yeshurbu. Lu Changtian sighed and shook his head as if he had missed a treasure. His face was full of regret. Humph, shameless boasting. Hearing Lu Changtian's words, the man did not think that Lu Changtian was very strong. Instead, he felt that Lu Changtian was boasting shamelessly. Die for meal. Chapter 1102. The battle was on the verge of breaking out. Basically, Lu Changtian was killing them one-sidedly. Because of the difference in cultivation level and the pressure of his aura, those martial cultivators below revered martial artist instantly lost their will to fight against Lu Changtian. The only person who could survive Lu Changtian's attack was the man who knew Yeshurbu. Of course, the man was not particularly busy. He was in a miserable state, kneeling on the ground on one knee. His entire body was covered in blood and wounds. His clothes were tattered. Even a beggar would be in a better state than him right now. The quiet and secluded path was originally peaceful. But now, it was filled with terror, blood, and corpses. Blood had already dyed the path red. The scene was exceptionally beautiful. Tiskeske. Yeshurbu is indeed powerful. A mere martial ancestor realm cultivator could survive my attacks until now. I have to say, you are a talent. But, if you were not in the Lu clan, perhaps I could have let you go. With your cultivation level, I believe you would be an elder anywhere. What a pity. Looking at the man, Lu Zhongtian's face was filled with pity. Lu Zhongtian was fond of this man, but... Pooh! He spat out a mouthful of blood. His face turned even paler and his body trembled. He supported himself with one hand on the ground and the other on his chest. Enduring the pain, he raised his head and looked at Lu Changtian. The murderous intent in his eyes grew even stronger. The winner is king and the loser is a bandit. In this man-eat-man world, there is nothing to feel pity about. Today, the Lu clan has fallen. But can you guarantee that you won't capsize? You don't really think you are invincible, do you? Do you really think no one in the Lu clan can take care of you? Even if the Lu clan doesn't, does the empire not? The young lady of the Lu clan is the emperor's woman. Do you think you are stronger than the empire? The man's face was full of provocation. I'm not afraid to tell you that the Lu family has already asked the empire for help. I believe that it won't be long before the empire sends powerful martial cultivators to assist the Lu family. When that time comes, you and the woman you want to protect the most will die. You will all pay a painful price for offending the Lu family. Hearing these words, a terrifying killing intent gushed out from Lu Changtian's body, and his face became even more ghastly. You're courting death. Heh, courting death. After joining the Lu family, I never thought that I would be able to survive. Furthermore, as a martial cultivator, the moment I stepped onto the path of martial cultivation, I was already standing on the edge of life and death. Life and death are insignificant to martial cultivators. Perhaps this is a kind of release. Escape from this man-eat-man environment. Cannibalism. Seeing that the man no longer had any desire to live, Lu Changtian knew that the man in front of him had already become indifferent to life and death. Whether it's life or death, it may seem like what you said, but to me, martial cultivators are fighting against the heavens, and even more so for life and death. Then he walked towards the man. Although his speed seemed slow, Lu Changtian arrived in front of the man in one step. Life and death may not be important to you, but not all martial cultivators think the same as you. At least I do. I don't want to die. The world is so big, and I haven't seen it properly. I haven't even experienced the power of this world. It would be a pity to die. Just for this I have to work hard to cultivate. I have to cultivate until I can surpass the existence of this world, surpass time, and even surpass the existence of death. Heh, forget it. It's useless to say so much. Anyway, no matter what, go in peace. I believe that you won't be lonely, because the entire Lu family will be with you soon. Oh right, I forgot to tell you. If the Lu family really asked the Empire for help, do you think it's normal for the Empire to not come after such a long time? You. The man was shocked. Yes, with the strength of the Empire, such a long time should be enough for them to come. But now, let alone help, there wasn't even a shadow of the Empire. It was as if the Empire didn't receive the news. Thinking of this, the man's face suddenly changed. Any smart person would have thought of something. He raised his head and looked at Lu Changtian. The original madness in his eyes changed to fear and panic. Yes, panic. No matter how scared and worried he was, these were not what he was worried about now. Crack, with fear, he was very worried. Lu Changtian ended his life just like that. Until his death, the man couldn't figure out why the Empire didn't help. Of course, it wasn't just the man. Even Lu Changtian couldn't figure it out. What he said just now was completely a guess. Now that he realized it, it was indeed a bit strange. Throwing the man's body aside, he looked in the direction of the imperial palace with a puzzled expression. The Empire? What is this Guangyun Empire thinking? Logically speaking, with such a big movement in the Lu family, they should have received the news. And he wanted to say something but hesitated. In the end, he didn't say anything. Forget it, who knows what they are thinking. Anyway, I will do my own thing. Whoever dares to stop me will die. After thinking it through, he didn't stay and stepped out of this bloody place. At this moment, the entire Lu family had turned into an Azura battlefield. The smell of blood had taken over the Lu family. The once luxurious, extravagant, and beautiful Lu family had completely turned into a land of blood. If a strong warrior flew to the sky and looked down on the entire Lu family, he would be able to see that the whole place was dyed red. In the depths of the Lu family, Lu Qingzhou waited for a long time. He still didn't see his subordinates coming to report back. His originally angry heart became even more angry. F***ck, this group of trash. Why is it so hard to get them to do something? Talking to himself, he got up and planned to leave to deal with it personally. He wanted to see who was so good. Bang! Just when Lu Qingzhou got up and wanted to deal with it personally, the door was suddenly pushed open. Lu Qingzhou, who was about to move, suddenly stopped. He looked up and saw an old man appear in his sight. You! Looking at the old man, Lu Qingzhou was dumbfounded. F***ck, what's going on? Isn't this the old ancestor? That's right, this was the Lu family's complete martial ancestor realm expert. The Lu family's old ancestor was in seclusion and didn't come out. His temper wasn't very good. But what was the situation now? Looking at the old man, Lu Qingzhou was completely dumbfounded. His brain instantly lost the ability to think. What? Are you surprised to see me? Looking at Lu Qingzhou, the old man's expression froze. Huh? No, why did you come out? Looking at the old man, Lu Qingzhou asked doubtfully. Sigh. Looking at Lu Qingzhou's doubtful gaze, the old man sighed. He understood that Lu Qingzhou probably still didn't know what was going on. Chapter 1103. Lu Qingzhou, right? The old man said. Yes. Lu Qingzhou did not dare to be negligent. Although he was the family head of this generation, it would be easy for the old man to take the position of family head. First, the old man's identity. If they were to talk about identity, the old man's identity was much nobler than his, and his bloodline was purer. Second, the old man's cultivation was at the peak of the martial ancestor realm. If he advanced further, he would be at the martial saint realm. This was very useful for the future development of the Lu family. If the old man broke through to the martial saint realm, then other than the emperor clan, only the Lu family would be left. Looking at Lu Qingzhou, the old man nodded, but his expression was very ugly and serious. Lu Qingzhou, now that the family is in danger, I have no choice but to come out. Originally, the Lu family was just a place for me to go into seclusion, but when I thought of the original intention of the Lu family, my heart softened. What? The Lu family. The Lu family is in danger? Without waiting for the old man to finish speaking, Lu Qingzhou spoke. His words were filled with doubt and confusion. Danger? He didn't understand what the old man meant. In his opinion, the Lu family's current situation could be described as smooth sailing, so smooth that it couldn't get any smoother. Why did the old man say that it was a crisis? It seems that you really don't know anything. Without a chance, Lu Qingzhou interrupted him. A mocking expression appeared on his face. The Lu family was broken through by an expert, and now the Lu family is flowing with blood. Tell me, isn't the Lu family in danger? I'm not afraid to tell you that even if I were to personally attack, I'm afraid I wouldn't be a match for that person, so, in a while, I'll try my best to explain the matter clearly. If there really is a misunderstanding, it's best if it can be solved. At most, we'll lose the Lu family's wealth, but if it can't be solved, then, at this point, his words came to an abrupt end, and his expression became more and more ugly. A person had rushed into the Lu family and wantonly killed. This kind of attitude had already explained everything. It was just that the old man always felt lucky. That's impossible. Lu Qingzhou still could not believe it. After all, the Lu family was now connected to the emperor. Who would be so reckless? Forget it. Let's go. Once we're here and see everything that's happening in the Lu family, you'll understand whether or not my words are true. Without waiting for Lu Qingzhou's agreement, he turned around and left the room. As for Lu Qingzhou, although he was extremely unwilling in his heart, he still had no choice but to follow behind. On the way, Lu Qingzhou's heart was beating like a drum. After all, the old man would not come out under normal circumstances. Now that he had appeared, what he had just said might be. No, could it be? Lu Qingzhou's heart was very tangled. Thinking of the previous report from the gate guard, Lu Qingzhou believed it a little. Could it be that what old ancestor said is true? But how is that possible? With the existence of the empire, who would be so reckless? Given long Er's standing in the sovereign monarch's palace, who would do such a thing? Of course, the old man didn't know what Lu Qingzhou was thinking, and neither did Lu Chongtian. Both sides were walking in opposite directions. Outside the gate of the Lu family, Hongxi was standing there. His whole body was covered in blood. Nothing else could be seen except for his face, which could be vaguely seen. After leaving the imperial palace, Lin Rei did not return to the restaurant, but went directly to the Lu family. In front of the Lu family's gate, Lin Rei came to the Lu family. Looking at the crowd gathered at the gate of the Lu family, he paused and then squeezed into the crowd. The first thing he saw was Hongxi, who was guarding the gate. Looking at Hongxi, Lin Rei asked the onlookers with doubts, "Damn, who is this person? Why is he so ruthless? A newcomer?" Hearing someone's question, the man turned to look at Lin Rei and said, "The Lu family is now the #1 family in the capital. I don't know why, but 2 people came and threatened to exterminate the Lu family without saying anything. See, one person has already rushed in, and the other is the person guarding the gate. Every person who rushed out of the Lu family killed. See, he is stained with the blood of the Lu family. Tisk. This appearance, hiss." Looking at Hongxi's appearance, the man could not help but gasp. His expression was full of fear. However, the speaker did not mean it, but the listener did. Hearing the man's perception, Lin Rei was stunned and looked at Hongxi. He did not know who Hongxi was, but he knew that the Lu family was his. Other than him, no one else had the right to exterminate the Lu family. Thinking of this, he took a step forward, wanting to rush into the Lu family and exterminate the Lu family. Hey, where are you going?" Lin Rei's action attracted the attention of a passerby. Then, he reached out and grabbed Lin Rei. "Do you want to die? You can't even enter the Lu family now." Saying this, the man pointed at Hongxi, who was standing at the gate. Obviously, he meant to pass through Hongxi. "Oh, thank you for your kindness, but I am also involved in the Lu family's affairs, so..." He cast a grateful look at the man, although the man's obstruction did not work at all. Exerting strength in his arm, he broke free from the man's control and walked toward the Lu family. At this time, Hongxi, who was guarding the gate, also noticed Lin Rei. Looking at Lin Rei, he frowned and said in a deep voice, "Little brother, stop. You want to stop me?" Looking at Hongxi, Lin Rei stopped and asked, "Little brother, Are you from the Liu family? No. Little brother, are you related to the Liu family? No. Seeing how long-winded Hongxi was, Lin Rei's face turned cold. He said impatiently, okay, stop asking. I have nothing to do with the Liu family. But I still want to enter the Liu family. So, get out of my way. Don't make unnecessary sacrifices. You can't stop me. Lin Rei was not lying about this. If Lu Chongtian saw Lin Rei here, he would probably retreat in fear. However, Hongxi did not know Lin Rei and did not understand Lin Rei's strength. As a martial arts grandmaster, how could Hongxi tolerate such provocation? Little brother, be careful with your words. Trouble comes from the mouth. Sometimes people will die. Humph. Ignoring Hongxi, Lin Fan snorted and walked toward the Liu family. He glanced at Hongxi and walked toward the Liu family. Haha, sure. Since you want to die, then die. Seeing that Lin Rei did not know what was good for him and even dared to ignore him, how could he tolerate it? His cultivation erupted in an instant. In a flash, he appeared in front of Lin Rei. He raised his sandbag-sized fist and punched at Lin Rei's face. Hongxi used 90% of his strength in this punch. He was going to kill Lin Rei. You're overestimating yourself. Lin Li was well aware of Hongxi's actions. He felt helpless about Hongxi's actions. No, it could be said that Hongxi disdained to kill him. Forget it. Since you killed the Liu family, I'll spare your life today. As he spoke, he released his pressure and instantly shrouded Hongxi, who was rushing toward him. Boom. A cultivator's pressure was not something a martial arts practitioner could resist. The moment the pressure shrouded Hongxi, he was pressed to the ground and looked very embarrassed. Remember, don't be so reckless next time. You'll die. Chapter 1104. Lin Rei returned the same words to Hongxi. How ironic it was for Hongxi. With great difficulty, he raised his head. As he looked at Lin Li, the look in his eyes was no longer the same as before. Instead, it was complicated and filled with terror. To be able to suppress him to the point that he couldn't move without making a move. Even Lu Chongtian wouldn't be able to do that. Hongxi understood that he was no match for the person in front of him. Even Lu Chongtian from the Liu family courtyard might not be able to survive one move from the person in front of him. Lin Rei did not know what Hongxi was thinking. He ignored Hongxi, who was lying on the ground, and stepped into the Liu family. F***ck, is he a big shot? Yeah, isn't he too powerful? Just by releasing his aura, he can suppress this person to the point that he can't fight back. How terrifying is the cultivation of such a person? At this moment, the onlookers were shocked by the scene in front of them. The most shocked one was the man who wanted to stop Lin Rei before. The strength that Lin Rei showed at this moment was enough to prove that there was no problem for him to enter the Liu family. However, he stupidly went forward to stop him. Thinking of this, the man's face turned red. Stepping into the courtyard, looking at the corpses all over the ground and the rivers of blood, it was as terrifying as the scene of Azura. Who on earth is it? Interesting. Looking at the scene in front of him, Lin Rei smiled. Then he released his divine sense and enveloped the entire Liu family in an instant. In the next moment, the entire Liu family turned into a 3D image that appeared clearly in Lin Rei's mind. Lu Chongtian is also here. The moment he saw the figure in the depths of the Liu family, Lin Rei was stunned and then recovered. It seems that everything that happened in the Liu family was caused by this guy. If that's the case, isn't the guy at the gate? Looking at Lu Chongtian's figure, Lin Rei thought of the bloody man who stopped him at the gate and smiled awkwardly. He immediately withdrew his coercion and transmitted his voice to Hongxi. Once you enter the Liu family, don't even think about running away. You should know that you can't escape. These words echoed in the mind of Hongxi, who was lying on the ground outside the gate of the Liu family. F***ck me. What's the situation? The voice came too suddenly, and he still remembered this voice. It was the voice of the young man just now. What shocked Hongxi was that the man had already entered the Liu family, but now the voice was ringing in his mind. Turning his head to look at the onlookers, Hongxi was sure that he was the only one who heard the commotion just now. Forget it, let's go in first. Hongxi jumped up from the ground and stretched his body. After feeling the pain from the coercion disappear, he stepped into the Liu family. With a muffled thud, Hongxi entered the Lu family. He didn't forget to pay attention to the gate. What did he mean by leave no one alive? That was it. However, anyone who showed signs of life in the Lu family, whether human or beast, must die. After closing the gate, he trotted to catch up with Lin Rei. He didn't dare to move behind Lin Rei, as if he was afraid of angering Lin Rei. Looking at Hongxi, Lin Rei smiled and said, "How do you know my disciple?" Hongxi. Lin Rei's sudden words made Hongxi confused. Your disciple? What disciple? Since when did I know your disciple? Brother, you should at least make it clear. Looking at Lin Rei, Hongxi was going crazy. Senior, your disciple is? Hongxi resisted the urge to beat him up and asked. Oh, I forgot to tell you. My disciple is Lu Changtian. Boom. The news exploded in Hongxi's mind like a bolt from the blue. For a moment, Hongxi couldn't wrap his head around it. Lu Changtian is your disciple? F***ck. Who else could it be? Lu Changtian is much older than you. How can you be Lu Changtian's master? Are you kidding? At this moment, Hongxi's first thought was disbelief. After all, there was an age gap between them. Although the other party's cultivation was very high, Hongxi still didn't believe it. You don't believe me? Seeing that Hongxi didn't say anything, Lin Rei frowned and asked. Well. Seeing Lin Rei's face darkening, Hongxi was stunned and then quickly explained, Senior, it's not that I don't believe you, but your age is really... Well, you'll understand when we get there. Lin Li didn't say anything else. He understood that because he was too young, it was normal that the other party didn't believe him. As for how the two of them had met, Lin Li also understood that he wouldn't be able to ask about it now. Since there was nothing to say, he naturally quickened his pace. He wasn't worried about Lu Changtian at all. After all, who taught Lu Changtian? Moreover, he had just checked. In the entire Lu family, the strongest cultivation was only at the Martial Grandmaster Great Perfection. Lu Changtian's cultivation was at the Martial Venerable Realm, so Lin Rei wasn't worried at all. As Lin Rei thought, Lu Changtian successfully met the warrior at the Martial Grandmaster Great Perfection. At first sight of Lu Changtian, Lu Qingzhou's heart skipped a beat. He understood that what the great ancestor said was true because Lu Changtian's clothes were stained with blood, but his clothes weren't torn. Obviously, the blood belonged to someone else. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lu Qingzhou stepped forward and said, Senior, how did my Lu family offend you? Why did you come to my Lu family to kill us so ruthlessly? The Lu family great ancestor behind Lu Qingzhou frowned slightly when he saw Lu Qingzhou being so reckless. His expression became ugly. He really couldn't figure out how such a person could be qualified for the position of the Lu family head. Of course, now was obviously not the time to think about this. If it were today, the Lu family's situation would change. Of course. The premise was that the Lu family could survive this time. Otherwise everything would be in vain. Ignoring Lu Qingzhou's barking, Lu Changtian also looked at the old man behind Lu Qingzhou. Lu Changtian could feel that this should be the great ancestor of the Lu family. Looking at the old man, Lu Changtian cupped his hands and said, I am Lu Changtian of the Lin family. This time, I came for no other reason than to destroy the Lu family. He went straight to the point and didn't hide anything. If someone weaker said this, they probably wouldn't be able to leave the Lu clan today. Unfortunately, Lu Changtian's cultivation level was very high, so he didn't have any scruples. Lu Changtian? Hearing Lu Changtian introduce himself, he frowned and repeated softly. Then, he cupped his hands and responded. Lu Qingbai of the Lu family, the third-generation elder of the Lu family. A very simple sentence was enough to explain Lu Qingbai's status. Lu Qingbai? Looking at the old man, Lu Changtian continued, in that case, let's get this over with quickly. I don't like to waste time. In the dark, Lin Rei, who had already arrived, heard Lu Changtian's words. He rolled his eyes and said angrily, F***ck, this bastard actually stole my words. It seems that the previous training was too easy. As he spoke, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly and a smile appeared. However, this smile didn't have the slightest gentle feeling in the eyes of Hongxi. In addition to coldness, there was only fear. Senior, you are really unlucky this time. I wish you good luck. Looking at Lu Changtian, Hongxi silently mourned in his heart. On the other side, Lu Changtian didn't know that Lin Rei had arrived. At this moment, the yuan qi in his body had accumulated to a peak and was about to erupt. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lu Qingbai sighed. Is there no room for redemption? Can you tell me why you want to destroy my Lu family? Lu Qingbai understood that the Lu family had forgotten today. However, he wanted to understand why the man in front of him had to destroy the Lu family. Looking at Lu Qingbai, Lu Changtian didn't hide anything and said, Lu Tianxiang of the Lu family touched someone he shouldn't have and hurt that person. Therefore he must die. And as the price for hurting that person, the entire Lu family must be destroyed. Of course you may not believe it. Even if I didn't come today, another person will come soon. If that person comes, then your Lu family won't be as simple as being destroyed. What? It's you. Lu Qingzhou, who was quietly listening to the conversation between Lu Changtian and Lu Qingbai, was stunned. His eyes were filled with killing intent. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lu Qingzhou pretended to be crazy and rushed toward Lu Changtian. You killed my Tianxiang? At this moment, Lu Qingzhou didn't care whether he was a match for Lu Changtian or not. He just wanted to kill the person in front of him to avenge his son. The hatred of killing his son was irreconcilable. Even if he had to risk his life, he wouldn't hesitate. Humph, an ant-like thing dares to bark in front of me. You don't know what's good for you. Facing Lu Qingzhou's rush, Lu Changtian didn't get angry. Instead he laughed. The power that he had accumulated at random seemed to have found an outlet. He raised his hand and slapped at Lu Qingzhou. Star finger. The star finger was instantly used. His middle finger and index finger instantly turned white and poked at Lu Qingzhou. Oh, not bad. You've cultivated the star finger to this level. Although it hasn't reached the standard, it's not bad. You barely passed. In the dark, Lin Rei was slightly gratified as he watched Lu Changtian use the battle technique. Of course, it was just gratification. After all, he could reach this level in 2 or 3 days at most. Of course, it could be even shorter. Poochie! The sound of flesh being pierced was heard. Lu Qingzhou's body was fixed in the air, and Lu Changtian appeared in front of Lu Qingzhou. One of his hands was already poking at Lu Qingzhou's heart. Scarlet blood slid down Lu Qingzhou's arm. The scene was slightly terrifying. Puff! He spat out a mouthful of blood and looked down at his chest in disbelief. How is this possible? He couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe that he, a martial emperor, was killed by Lu Changtian without even taking a single blow. He couldn't believe that his fate had completely ended today. He couldn't believe that he would die. Wasn't his daughter the emperor's woman? Why didn't the emperor help? Questions appeared in Lu Qingzhou's mind, but unfortunately, he would never know the answer to these questions. Bang! Ignoring whether Lu Qingzhou was still alive, Lu Changtian casually threw him aside. His eyes fell on Lu Qingbai. His expression was full of passion. Obviously, he wanted to fight with Lu Qingbai. It's your turn. Yes, it's my turn. A wry smile appeared. He knew himself and knew that he was no match for the person in front of him. However, as a warrior, there was no reason to retreat. Knowing that it was impossible to do it, it was a warrior's nature. Come, show me the strength of a complete martial ancestor realm cultivator, who is only a step away from becoming a martial ancestor realm cultivator. A long sword appeared. This time, Lu Changtian didn't use his bare hands. He used his weapon. He wasn't an arrogant person. Lu Changtian was very much looking forward to him, who was only a step away from Martial Grandmaster Great Perfection and Martial Venerable. Alright, since that's the case, then let's fight to our heart's content. The bitter smile disappeared, and indeed, Daiji was also a bit crazy and a bit free and easy. Tisk, 2 little kids. How can they be so excited about a fight between kids? They're really drunk. Looking at Lu Changtian and Hongxi, Lin Rei snorted. Kids fighting? Who? Them? Hearing Lin Rei's words, Hongxi was stunned and at a loss. However, soon, Hongxi refocused his attention on Lu Changtian and Lu Changtian. Such a big fight was rare. With his current realm, he might be able to break through after watching it. Whoosh! He moved. Lu Qingbai's figure flashed quickly and rushed to Lu Chongtian's side at an amazing speed. A sky halberd appeared in his hand and he swept it toward Lu Chongtian's head. The first move was a killing move. His body was full of killing intent and it was shocking. At first glance, one could tell that the person in front of him had killed many people. Not bad, his attack is very strong, but his combat skills are a bit poor. Well, his prediction ability is also very strong. Not bad. Compared with Lu Chongtian, he is much better. If there is no gap in cultivation, Lu Chongtian will not be a match for Lu Qingbai. In the distance, Lin Rei couldn't help but analyze the fight between Lu Chongtian and Lu Qingbai. It can't be. Hong Si, who was listening to Lin Rei's analysis, was a little shocked. He couldn't believe that Lu Qingbai was better. Oh, you will know in a while. If it wasn't for the gap in cultivation, I'm afraid Lu Chongtian would have lost at this moment. Lin Rei said with a touch of disappointment on his face. It seems that after this matter, I have to let him go deeper into the Divine Valley. Otherwise, he will be a disgrace to me with his strength. Hong Si said to himself and couldn't help but tremble. Lu Chongtian didn't know that he had been targeted by Lin Rei. He was afraid that his future would be difficult. Seeing the sky halberd rushing at him at such a fast speed, Lu Chongtian was a little surprised. He quickly raised his hand and blocked the long sword. With a crisp sound, the long sword blocked the sky halberd. However, compared to the sky halberd, the long sword had some flaws. The two sides collided, and the force of the collision came from their weapons. As they spoke, the weapons rushed into each other's bodies. Whoosh! The two sides separated. Lu Chongtian retreated a dozen steps and Lu Chongtian retreated 3 steps. However, the long sword in his hand was trembling because of the huge force. Even Lu Chongtian's arm was a little numb at this moment. I met a tough opponent. Chapter 1105. He mobilized his Yuanli to stabilize his trembling hand. Naturally, the pain could not be removed. Looking up at Lu Chongtian, Lu Chongtian's face was solemn. It could be said that this was the only opponent he had encountered in a long time who could make him retreat. Of course, Lin Rei did not count. Although Lu Chongtian only used 60% of his strength in the previous blow, it was impossible for an ordinary martial arts grandmaster of the complete realm to withstand such power. However, an accident had happened. Lu Qingbai had not only resisted but also repelled him. You are very strong, especially in terms of cultivation. I can't beat you. Looking at Lu Chongtian's solemn face, Lu Qingbai said in a low voice. Lu Qingbai knew very well that although he had repelled Lu Chongtian just now, it did not mean that he could defeat him. He knew himself well. Although you are very strong, you have a shortcoming. Your proficiency in combat techniques is not very strong. It seems that you have just started cultivating. However, even so, if you release all your cultivation, I am afraid that I am not your opponent. I am not sure how many moves I can take from you. Lu Chongtian was speechless. He understood Lu Qingbai's words. However, it was embarrassing enough to be repelled like this. Now, he had to repeat it, which made him a little unacceptable. Stabilizing his trembling hand, he clenched the 3-foot-long cold light in his palm and looked at Lu Qingbai with a solemn gaze. Without saying anything, his figure shot out. Using the butterfly steps, his figure instantly turned into a series of afterimages and appeared in Lu Qingbai's line of sight. The scene was very shocking. Although it was just an afterimage, his movements were graceful and vivid. He was like a butterfly that kept moving forward in the air. His speed was so fast that Lu Qingbai felt ashamed of his inferiority. Come on. Lu Qingbai was not a little guy who had not seen the world. He would be dumbfounded when he saw such a handsome and high-class thing. Lu Qingbai understood his situation. If he stopped for a moment in such a battle, his life would not be his own. Seeing Lu Chongtian rushing towards him, although he couldn't see Lu Chongtian's figure with his eyes, Lu Qingbai wasn't the kind of person who would sit still and wait for death. Holding the sky piercer halberd, he took a step forward. Instantly, the ground he stepped on cracked like a spider web. The silhouette dashed out, brandishing the ancient halberd in his hand. Using a battle technique, spear shadows appeared as the spear intent soared up into the sky, exuding a majestic aura, as though it wanted to pierce through the heavens and earth, as though the heavens and earth were a cage for the ancient halberd. Interesting. This old fellow actually managed to cultivate spear intent. Not bad. I didn't expect to find something like this in such a barren place. In the distance, Lu Changtian, who had been watching the battle, looked at Lu Qingbai's tactics. His eyes suddenly lit up and he muttered to himself. His eyes never left Lu Changtian and Lu Qingbai. The more he watched, the more interesting it became. Bang! The sound of weapons colliding resounded through the sky. Lu Changtian's long sword directly avoided Lu Qingbai's ancient halberd with the advantage of speed and pierced into his shoulder. However, although this attack was successful, there was one thing that made Lu Changtian helpless. The sword just now should have been able to directly kill Lu Qingbai, but because the long sword didn't completely avoid Lu Qingbai's ancient halberd, it brushed past the ancient halberd and finally pierced into his shoulder. The long sword's power had been reduced by 50%, so it appeared in his heart. Pucci the long sword was pulled out. Blood, like a small fountain, rushed up the stairs from his shoulder and sprayed on Lu Changtian's clothes. Finish this quickly. After Lu Changtian's move succeeded, a voice sounded in his mind. The voice was full of overbearing and irresistible aura. When Lu Changtian heard this voice, his body suddenly stopped and his face showed an excited expression. Others didn't know, but he knew very well that this voice was Lin Rei's voice. Then, after understanding, his figure flashed quickly. His movements were faster than before and more frantic to kill Lu Qingbai. The long sword was accompanied by sword qi, constantly bombarding Lu Qingbai. The speed of the sword was faster than the previous one, and the sword was heavier than the previous one. Lu Qingbai didn't pay much attention to the words. When this kind of attack appeared, Lu Qingbai understood that he was completely miserable this time. However, what he couldn't understand was why the current Lu Changtian was completely different from before. They were not on the same channel at all. With the increase of Lu Changtian's speed, some wounds began to appear on Lu Qingbai's body. Blood flowed out of the wounds and his clothes were torn into pieces by the sword qi. He didn't look like a human being. In just a few minutes, Lu Qingbai and Lu Changtian stopped fighting. Lu Changtian fiercely kicked his legs and quickly withdrew from the battle range. Lu Qingbai stood quietly at the moment, looking at Lu Changtian's retreat with lifeless eyes. Lu Qingbai's whole body was filled with despair. I told you to finish this quickly, not to tickle the enemy. Really, I don't know how you practiced in the Divine Valley before. Just as Lu Qingbai looked at Lu Changtian who retreated, a voice full of disgust came from the south. Ha! The voice came too suddenly. Lu Qingbai scanned the surroundings with his dead eyes. He wanted to find the place where the speaker was, but unfortunately, he couldn't find the speaker in the end. Lu Changtian respectfully saluted behind him and said, "Yes, master, you are right." Lu Changtian didn't dare to refute. He was afraid that if he refuted, something that Sammy didn't expect would happen. That would be terrible. Since that's the case, after we return, extend the Divine Valley by 1 kilometer. Lu Changtian didn't answer, but his expression showed his thoughts. At this moment, Lu Changtian's face was pale and he couldn't help but tremble. It was unknown whether it was excitement or fear. Seeing that Lu Changtian didn't speak, Lin Rei got up and walked out of the place where he was hiding, exposing his figure to everyone. Ha! You! As soon as Lin Rei's figure appeared, Lu Qingbai was stunned. This is the person who spoke just now? But why is he so young? This thought occupied all Lu Qingbai's thoughts at this moment. Indeed, Lin Rei's appearance at this moment was too young, so it was normal that he couldn't figure it out. As for Lu Qingbai's thoughts, Lin Rei didn't care. Instead, he looked at Lu Changtian with a helpless expression and said, "You bastard, it takes you so long to deal with someone who is at a lower realm than you. What about someone who is at a higher realm?" Lin Rei didn't care about Lu Changtian's face at all. Moreover, Lin Rei didn't realize that he said the wrong thing. Back then I was very powerful. I fought against a mutated beast alone. That beast was much stronger than me, but in the end, I still won. Lu Changtian didn't say anything. He didn't believe it. After all, he hadn't seen it. His one-sided words weren't enough. You don't believe it? At this moment, Lu Changtian's face was filled with the words, "I don't believe it." For Lin Rei, who valued self-esteem, it was very important. Well, you bastard. Since that's the case, I'll show you what it means to be strong. After this, if you still embarrass me like this, I'll cripple you directly, so that you don't go out and embarrass me. Formation of Nightmare appear. A middle-level formation was instantly displayed by Lin Ray. For this kind of formation, the effect of using formation flags was very good. However, the current conditions were too simple, so... However, at this current price, although the effect wasn't very good, it was enough. Stretching out the formation of Nightmare, the fog flashed. Then, a scene that shocked Lu Changtian appeared. The scenery at the original place disappeared and was replaced by a very big house. At this moment, the place was in a mess. There were many people, but most of them were desperately trying to escape from this place. In the middle of the house, a black dog stood there, staring at a man angrily. You're different from them. I don't understand why you're staying in the divine world with your strength. Is there any meaning to this? In the end, Devourer's gaze fell on Lin Ray. With a glance, Devourer knew Lin Ray's cultivation. Especially before this, Devourer and Lin Ray had been paying attention to each other since the beginning. Therefore, in Devourer's opinion, the person who should be dealt with the least should be Lin Ray, the cultivator at the initial stage of the Sage Realm. This was because Devourer felt a trace of dangerous aura from Lin Ray's body. He hadn't felt this aura for a long time. Devourer's words puzzled everyone. As he spoke, Devourer looked over. When he saw Lin Ray, everyone fell silent. They had never seen the person mentioned by Devourer before. They also knew that this person was very unfamiliar. He didn't look like someone from Yen City. He must be an outsider. Feeling the hesitant gaze of the crowd, Lin Ray ignored them. His gaze was fixed on Devourer. Lin Ray's mouth curved into a smile. However, this smile was so eerie and terrifying in the eyes of the crowd. It made their hair stand on end. Devourer, the most mysterious race in the Hongmeng realm. He possesses the Devourer bloodline. He is indeed very strong. In a single sentence, Linley had revealed the origin of the Devourer beast. Everyone was completely confused by this. Only the middle-aged man who had bid 90 million, upon hearing Linley reveal the Devourer beast's identity, had his face suddenly change and turn gloomy. I didn't expect that I'm not the only one here who knows the Devourer's identity. This person knows it so clearly as well. Who is he? Why does he know the Devourer's identity? He doesn't look like he's from the sacred realm. Why does he know the Devourer's identity? Looking at Lin Ray, the middle-aged man's mind was filled with questions. He felt that Lin Ray was very mysterious. On the other hand, Lin Ray didn't know the answer to the middle-aged man's questions. At this moment, he didn't want to know either. Facing such a powerful opponent, Lin Ray couldn't relax. He was afraid that he would die. Moreover, the system didn't give him much time. He had already wasted some time. If he didn't hurry up, the only outcome left for him would be death. The Devourer wasn't surprised that Lin Ray knew his identity. Moreover, he had never hidden his identity. Looking at Lin Ray, his eyes flashed. You are very smart. I don't know where you saw the Sovereign's information, but if you saw the Sovereign's information, you should know that this Sovereign is very strong. So strong that you can't resist. A proud expression appeared on the Devourer's face. Regarding the Devourer, Lin Ray couldn't help but think of the little dragon. Yes, you are indeed very strong. The Devourer didn't dare to deny this point. The Devourer was indeed very strong. Even if he didn't admit it, he wouldn't have made Lin Ray so afraid. On the other hand, as Master Dan, Lin Ray also knew that although the Devourer was very strong, there were some injuries on his body. Although they weren't fatal, they affected his strength. Therefore, for the current Devourer, as long as he raised his spiritual power to the maximum, he would be fine as long as he acted carefully. The injuries on your body are very serious. If you don't treat them quickly, then who knows how much strength you have left in the end. Moreover, if the old geezers in the Holy World and the Hongmeng realm find out about your injuries, I'm afraid they will break through the barrier to find you and exchange blood with you. Listening to Lin Ray's clear and logical explanation, the Devourer's expression changed again and again. He had never mentioned his injuries in front of outsiders, but this person in front of him. A thought came to his mind. He looked at Lin Ray and said, You are an alchemist? Alchemist. TSKSK, that's a good name, but I still like people calling me Master Dan. You broke through from the Dan realm to the Saint realm? The Devourer was a little in disbelief. Although he didn't know much about alchemy, he still knew the division of alchemists. Although Master Dan wasn't the highest in the alchemist realm, it was still an extremely high existence. Even in the holy world, there weren't many Master Dan, but in the God realm, he actually found one. How could he not be shocked? Lin Rei felt very good about the Devourer's shock. After all, this could be considered a compliment. Looking at the Devourer's shocked expression, Lin Rei didn't deny it. He nodded and said, "Yes, the Emperor has indeed broken through to Master Dan. Otherwise, he wouldn't know that a dignified Devourer would have such pain in his eyes." Looking at the scene in front of him, Lu Chongtian's heart was filled with nothing but shock. Really, he was shocked. Not only the existence of strength, but also the decoration of the room. It was not something that the heavenly fate realm could compare to, especially things like cultivation. And just when Lu Chongtian was engrossed in watching, the original scene suddenly collapsed and disappeared. Lu Chongtian's thoughts instantly withdrew from the scene. Returning to reality, he looked at Lu Chongtian and said, "Master, why is it gone?" This. Lin Rei wanted to say that the formation had collapsed, but his expression didn't allow him to. "What are you looking at? Hurry up and solve the matter in front of you so that you can follow me back to the Divine Valley. This time, if you don't cultivate to the martial god realm, don't even think about entering the world." Martial god. Lu Chongtian's face fell. His heart was filled with bitterness. How could the martial god realm be achieved so easily? "Okay, hurry up and solve it. Tell me what happened in a bit." Saying that, Lin Rei retreated to the side. He didn't care about the Lu family at all. Moreover, the Lu family could be considered extinct now. Chapter 1106. After receiving the order, Lu Chongtian didn't completely release his cultivation like before. He instantly used the Silent Thunder Spear art, but because he didn't have a weapon that matched the Silent Thunder Spear art, the power was a little weaker. His figure flashed quickly and he used the butterfly steps. He held the long sword in his hand, using the sword as the spearhead and his arm as the spear body. The Silent Thunder Spear art was instantly used. The spear was like a dragon, quickly flashing and stabbing towards Lu Qingbai. Alas! My life is over. Lu Qingbai didn't have the heart to resist Lu Chongtian's attack. He knew that the Lu clan would die today. Although he had thought of dying together with Lu Chongtian, that was before he saw Lin Rei. The appearance of Lin Rei made Lu Qingbai completely dispel this idea. Although he hadn't seen Lin Rei fight, Lu Chongtian, a revered martial artist, had to call him master. His cultivation was imaginable. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that Lu Qingbai even thought that Lin Rei had the cultivation of a martial god, but then this idea disappeared. After all, there was bound to be a phenomenon when one broke through the martial god realm. He basically knew all the martial gods in the destiny realm, but he had never heard of Lin Rei, so he could only be a martial saint. Looking at Lu Chongtian rushing over, Lu Qingbai smiled bitterly. He didn't use the sky piercer in his hand, but stuck it in the ground. His eyes swept around and looked at the familiar courtyard. Then he closed his eyes and waited for the arrival of death. Life and death were determined by fate. When a clan rose, it would naturally fall or even be exterminated. This was an ancient law that had never changed. The survival of the fittest and the elimination of the fittest. He understood the law of natural selection the moment he became a martial artist, so he had no complaints. As for the Lu clan, Lu Qingbai only felt a little pity. He didn't expect the Lu clan to end up like this. Thinking of the reason for the Lu clan's extermination, Lu Qingbai felt ashamed. If he died and saw his ancestors, he wouldn't know how to explain it. Alas, forget it. Why think so much? Since it's already like this, why bother? Poochie. The sound of flesh being pierced entered Lu Chongtian's ears. Lu Chongtian closed his eyes tightly and his face instantly turned pale. He felt as if something had pierced into his heart. He felt a sharp pain. He didn't even need to think to know. Without opening his eyes, he quietly waited for death. At this moment, he recalled everything that had happened in his life. Thinking of the people he had killed under the blanket, he felt a little sorry, but he did not regret it. After all, as a warrior, he was not wrong. The only thing that was wrong was the world. Holding a sword in one hand, he looked at Lu Qingbai's action and his heart trembled slightly. He felt inexplicably sad. Will there be such a day in the future when I will be beheaded like this? This thought flashed through his mind before he returned to normal. He put away his sword and flashed to Lin Rei's side. Master, the Lu family has been destroyed. Lin Rei. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lin Rei only wanted to give him a critical hit. He felt even more helpless. Wasn't it obvious? The head of the Lu family was killed, and the ancestor was also killed. This was not a massacre. Moreover, he had eyes. Of course, Lin Rei did not speak of this thought. He glanced at Lu Changtian and then turned to Lin Rei. He still had a good impression of Lu Qingbai. You should understand that even if it's not you now, it won't be long. Moreover, at your age, it's basically impossible to break through to Martial Venerable. You've lived for so long, it's time to be free. Maybe you'll be reincarnated to a good place in your next life. Maybe in that world, you'll meet something that I'm not in here, so rest in peace. Lu Changtian, hearing Lin Rei's words, Lu Changtian rolled his eyes and despised him in his heart. You've destroyed their family and now you want them to rest in peace. Aren't you trying to provoke them? Lin Rei did not know what Lu Changtian was thinking. However, if Lin Rei knew what he was thinking, how could Lu Changtian have a good life in the future? What a joke, how could it be? After saying that, Lin Rei did not waste any more time. He turned around and walked out with Lu Changtian and Hong Si. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The moment Lin Rei stepped out of the backyard of the Lu family, he waved his hand and a fireball technique appeared. Fireballs the size of basketballs appeared in the air from Lin Rei's hand and finally landed on the house and the corpses in the backyard of the Lu family. Boom! Raging flames appeared in an instant, and everything that was touched by the fireball would be burned to ashes in an instant. How is this possible? Hong Si exclaimed. For Hong Si, this scene was too shocking, but for Lu Changtian, he was already used to it. After all, it wasn't like he hadn't seen it before. Of course, for the first time, Lu Changtian was completely different from Hong Si. There was no difference at all. Oh, isn't it unbelievable? Do you think this is impossible? Oh no, should I say it's impossible in this world? Looking at Hong Si's shock, Lu Changtian said to him with an amused smile. Looking at Lu Changtian's expression, Hong Si was stunned and then stammered. In the end, even Lu Changtian did not know what he was talking about. Well, there will be more of this in the future, so don't be too surprised. It'll be embarrassing. Hearing Lu Changtian's words, Hong Si turned around and sneered. He wanted to say, "You were not as good as Hong Si before." Of course he wanted to say it, but he did not. Otherwise, he would be very embarrassed. After all, Lu Changtian was now his disciple. The three of them stepped out of the gate of the Lu family and ignored them. As for the Lu family, Lin Rei did not need to deal with them at all. The fireball technique just now was enough to turn the Lu family into ashes. Now, in front of the gate of the Lu family, the people around did not disperse. In fact, there were even more people gathered than before. Lin Rei did not want to say anything about it. He walked away, ignoring the Lu family that was burning with raging flames. When they passed by the crowd, they could not help but push aside to make a path for Lin Rei and the others. Perhaps it was because of fear, or perhaps it was because of the blood on Lu Changtian and Hong Si that frightened them. As for why they were afraid, only they knew in their hearts. Lin Rei and the others left, leaving the onlookers to watch the Lu family's fire grow bigger and bigger. Originally, there were people who wanted to go in and clean up the place. After all, the Lu family was one of the big families in the empire. Especially after the Lu family had the emperor in the past 2 years, the Lu family's status had vaguely become the biggest family in the capital. There must be a lot of good things in the house. However, with the raging fire in front of them, even if they wanted to, they did not have the courage. Of course, there were also people who were not afraid of death. Some people went in, but as soon as they entered the door, they were forced to retreat by the heat waves caused by the raging fire. Just like that, the crowd could only watch the Lu family being surrounded and turned into ashes. Just like that, the Lu family was exterminated in a day. This news spread like the wind to the entire capital. Chapter 1107. Lin Rei didn't care about the Lu family's matters. After all, the Lu family had been exterminated. As for the Lu family's things, he didn't care at all. Lin Rei brought Lu Changtian to the restaurant, but because of the bloodstains on Lu Changtian and Lu Changtian's bodies, the moment they entered the restaurant, Lin Rei sent them to wash up and come back. As for Lin Rei, after arriving at the restaurant, he found a place by the window and sat down. He ordered some food and wine and quietly waited for Lu Changtian's arrival. Time passed little by little. In less than 10 minutes, Lu Changtian returned. The difference was that Lu Changtian now looked completely new. There was no longer any trace of blood on his body. However, since he had killed someone before, even if his clothes and blood were wiped clean, there was still a faint smell of blood. "Take a seat," Lin Rei said as he looked at Lu Changtian. He raised his wine cup and downed it in one gulp. "Tell me, why did you come to the Guangyun Empire, and where is my mother?" Lu Changtian got straight to the point and asked a few questions in a row, which made him a little unnatural. What he was most afraid of now was being asked about Hua Yun's injury. As expected, he couldn't avoid it in the end. He sat down and raised his head to look at Lin Rei with an expression that said he knew he was in the wrong. Then he didn't dare to be negligent and said, "Teacher, let's start from when you asked me to go to the Lin family." The Lin family. Looking at Lu Changtian, Lin Rei didn't frown. He didn't expect this to be related to the Lin family. Nodding, he said, "Sure, I want to hear what you have to say. If your final reason doesn't satisfy me, you should know what the consequences will be." Lu Changtian, after wiping away the cold sweat on his forehead, he began to explain the entire situation, from the Lin family to when he met Lu Tianxiang in the Empire. "When I came to the Empire, I was separated from Mistress because of the Lin family's matter. I originally wanted to investigate, but I didn't expect that Mistress would encounter Lu Tianxiang. In the end, because I wasn't there, Lu Tianxiang succeeded. However, I arrived and killed him." Lu Changtian paused and glanced at Lin Rei from the corner of his eyes. Seeing that there was not the slightest emotion on Lin Rei's face, Lu Changtian wiped his cold sweat and continued, "Because we were in the Imperium at that time, and because the incident might have been too serious, we could only settle down the mistress and the others first before returning to the Imperium to settle accounts with the Lu family. That's all. You'll know what happened next. The Lu family was destroyed." Lu Changtian let out a long sigh of relief. After Lu Changtian finished speaking, Lin Rei didn't speak for a long time, but his expression became serious. "I didn't expect that something like this would happen to the Lin family. Since the Lin family has reappeared in front of everyone, and the Guangyun Empire has found out, the other empires naturally won't make a move without me. Since that's the case, I'll call out the matter of my father, eldest uncle, and third uncle." Now that he had found the souls of his eldest uncle and third uncle, but according to Tendo, his father's soul wasn't dead. This meant that someone else had intervened and kidnapped him. In that case, everything that had happened before made sense. Thinking of this, a murderous intent flashed through his eyes. The Guangyun Empire had wanted to let the imperial family go, but now it was impossible. Since they dared to interfere with the Lin family, they must die. Although he didn't have much affection for the Lin family, it was still his family in this life. It was his father's family, so he was determined to take care of this matter. Thinking of this, he raised his head and looked at Lu Changtian. "You're right about this." After hearing this, Lu Changtian, who was still a little nervous, finally relaxed. He thought that he would be punished, but now, however, before Lu Changtian could react, Lin Rei's words came again. Lu Changtian's face fell. "However, you can avoid the death penalty, but you can't escape punishment. Since you made a mistake, you must be punished." "Master, He wanted to refute, but Lin Rei's voice came again. "Before, when you returned to the Divine Valley, I told you to increase the distance by 1,000 meters. Now, increase it a little. 2,000 meters. 1 year. If you can't break through in 1 year, then, bear the consequences." Lu Changtian. At this moment, Lu Changtian didn't want to speak. He didn't even have the heart to refute. Right now, he just wanted to find a corner, squat down, and quietly grieve for a while. Haha, he understood Lu Changtian's heart, but there was nothing he could do. It was his fault for not protecting his mother well. This was his punishment. In the outside world, The news of the Lu family's annihilation was immediately known by all the major clans, especially the royal family. However, Li Huangdao did not tell Lu Linglong about it. He was afraid that Lu Linglong would not be able to accept it. Of course, he was even more worried that Lu Linglong would provoke Linli and bring trouble to the empire. Long family. Long Yaoyang's room. After receiving the report of the Lu family's destruction, Long Yaoyang was so excited that he almost fainted. For 2 to 3 years, they had been suppressed by the Lu family. In these 2 to 3 years, the Long family had been humiliated to the extreme. Long Yaoyang's personality was especially strong. Now that the Lu clan had been annihilated, how could he not be excited? However, when he thought of Linli's strength, he was very worried. Now that the Lu clan had been annihilated, what if his own clan members accidentally offended Linli? Would the Long clan? Thinking about it, Long Yaoyang couldn't help but gasp. He didn't dare to think about the consequences anymore. Someone come. He raised his head and shouted. Jia. The door was pushed open and a man came in. He kneeled on the ground and bowed respectfully. Master. Go inform everyone in the Long family that if they see that senior, they are not allowed to leave. Also, during this time in the capital, don't cause any trouble. Otherwise, don't blame me for not showing mercy. Especially those good-for-nothings. Tell them to behave. Otherwise, don't blame me for putting righteousness before family. Hearing this, the man's expression changed. He knew very well what Long Yaoyang meant. He nodded and said, Yes, I will go inform the elders. Good, go. If they have any objections, tell them to come find me. Then, the man got up and left Long Yaoyang's room to inform the elders of the Long family. This situation didn't only apply to the Long family. It was the same for the other families in the capital. Basically, they were all telling the troublemakers to behave. Lin Rei didn't know what the other families were doing. At the moment, Lin Rei was eating and drinking in a restaurant. He was very relaxed. Now that he knew what happened, his mood was much better. The most troublesome thing was solved. As for the rest, he just had to do it. This was very easy for Lin Rei. Chapter 1108. At the entrance of the Grey Cloud Mountain Range, Lu Chongtian led Lin Rei and the others back to the mountain where Hua Yun was. Is this the place? They were now at the entrance of the mountain range. Looking up at the mountain range in front of him, Lin Rei's face showed a touch of sadness. He had such an expression before, so no one else noticed it. Yes, because I had to take revenge before, I could only arrange for you to stay here. Besides, I have beasts guarding the periphery, so it's safe, Lu Chongtian replied. Okay. Lin Rei nodded and then didn't say anything else. He motioned for Lu Chongtian to go first, and his group followed behind him at a very fast speed. After all, everyone in this group was not weak in cultivation. Gradually, Lu Chongtian's speed increased. Perhaps he sensed Lin Rei's eagerness, so he sped up even more, which made Hong Si, who was following beside him, feel like crying. Seeing Linli and the others increasing their speed, Hong Si felt helpless. He wanted to increase his speed to catch up with them, but he was powerless to do so. He had no choice. His cultivation was at its current level, and he could not increase it even if he wanted to. What made Hong Si even more speechless was that the Blood Spirit Heaven's speed was much faster than his, and it was dragging 2 children with it. In the restaurant, Lin Rei introduced the Blood Spirit Heaven to Hong Si, although Hong Si couldn't accept it at first. After all, it was incredible that beasts could listen to human orders. However, when he thought of Lin Rei's strength and Lu Chongtian's attitude, his attitude changed a little. In the end, he slowly accepted the existence of the Blood Spirit Heaven. However, now that he saw the Blood Spirit Heaven's speed, he began to feel unhappy again because it was faster than him, much faster. He could feel that this was not the full speed of the Blood Spirit Heaven. In front, Lin Rei sensed that Hong Si's speed was a little slow, so he finally slowed down a little. However, even so, Hong Si was still exhausted. Lu Chongtian led the way, and no one spoke along the way. Finally, not long after, Lu Chongtian and the others finally arrived at their destination. Along the way, in order to avoid trouble, Lin Rei released his cultivation base and released his aura so that the demonic beasts did not dare to come close. That was why everything went so smoothly. Otherwise, At the bottom of one of the valleys in the Green Cloud Mountain range, Long Ming had his disciples form teams of 3 and set up sentries within a radius of 1,000 meters. As long as there was any movement, it would be transmitted back to Long Ming at the fastest speed. This was the first sentry post within a kilometer. It was a normal patrol, scanning the surroundings. Just as the sentry post was investigating the situation, a group of people appeared. Looking at the group of people in the distance, the man reminded the 2 people beside him, "Don't sleep. Someone is coming. Quickly warn them to stay away. If you fail to do your job, you should know the consequences." As soon as he said that, the 2 people who were sleeping with their eyes closed jumped up immediately. They grabbed the wooden sticks that looked like spears and poked at the people in the distance without saying anything. Of course, the 3 of them did not bombard the group of people in the distance. Instead, they poked at the group in front of them. Whoosh! 3 air-piercing sounds came from afar. Lin Rei, who wanted to rush to the destination in one go, heard the air-piercing sounds and looked up. He saw 3 black shadows rushing over in an instant and finally stabbing into the ground 5 meters in front of him. Bang! There was a muffled sound, followed by a warning from afar. "Stop. This is private property." The first time is a warning, but the second time is not necessarily the same. Ha! The sudden sound made Lin Rei and the others pause. They looked at Lu Changtian in confusion and wanted to ask about the situation. However, Lu Changtian was also at a loss when he saw Lin Rei and the others looking at him. He did not remember such a thing happening when he left. Looking at Lin Rei's murderous gaze, Lu Changtian trembled and cold sweat appeared on his forehead. He then said, "Master, I don't know. Wait a moment, I'll ask." After saying that, without waiting for Lin Rei to speak, Lu Changtian stepped forward and looked at the 3 people in front of him. He shouted, "I am Lu Changtian. Call Long Ming out for me." Ha! Lu Changtian? At the sentry post, the 3 people frowned when they heard this. They looked up as if they wanted to see the person's identity clearly. Fortunately, the 3 of them had good eyesight. After staring at Lu Changtian for a long time, they finally confirmed that the person in front of them was Lu Changtian, that expert. "Senior Lu, young master arranged for us to stand guard in case of emergencies. If we offended you, please forgive us." After the man finished speaking, the 3 of them quickly went to Lu Changtian and the others and bowed respectfully as an apology. Looking at the 3 of them, Lu Changtian's complexion improved a lot. He understood why Long Ming did this, so he did not blame him. "You did well." He praised the 3 of them and then continued, "Let's go. Let us in." Lu Changtian did not want to encounter such a situation later. He did not know how many sentry posts Lu Changtian had set up. "Well, Senior Lu, please." The 3 of them made an inviting gesture, then stepped forward and began to lead the way for Lin Rei and the others. As Lu Changtian had expected, they would encounter a sentry post every once in a while. Lu Changtian admired Long Ming even more for being able to think of such a method. Lin Rei was also quite interested in this. He wanted to broaden his knowledge of Long Ming. After all, Long Ming did this to protect his mother. Although he had offended the Lin family before, this kind of thing could be considered as atonement. In this way, under the guidance of the 3 people, Lu Changtian and the others had a smooth journey. They were not warned like the first time. Time passed quickly. Not long after, Lu Changtian was finally led to the destination at the bottom of the valley. After stopping, the 3 people, including Lu Changtian and the others, bowed and saluted. "Senior Lu, since you have arrived, we will go back first." Looking at the 3 people, Lu Changtian nodded. "Well, you can go back now." After the 3 people left, Lu Changtian turned to look at Lin Rei and said, "Master, that cave residence is where Grand Mistress lives." "This." Looking at the direction where Lu Changtian was pointing, a dark flash appeared in front of Lin Rei's eyes. This." Looking at Lin Rei's puzzled expression, Lu Changtian paused and then continued. Although it's a little risky, safety is the most important thing. Besides, Grand Mistress was injured before. She should have recovered by now." "Well, I understand." Nodding, he took a step forward and disappeared. When everyone saw Lin Rei again, they thought he was at the entrance of the cave where Huayun was. Teskeske. This speed is really fast. Looking at Lin Rei's figure, Hongxi was very envious. There was nothing but envy. Chapter 1109. Ignoring the gazes of the crowd, Lin Rei stepped into the cave. This time, he did not use his cultivation, but his heart was filled with excitement. He had been away for a few years. Although this was only his mother in this life, she gave birth to him, raised him, loved him, and protected him. This alone was enough for Lin Rei to use all his strength to protect this love. The cave was not very big. It was dark, and there was a reflux. Cultivating in such a place was not a big deal for cultivators. After all, most of the cultivators cultivated in caves and the like. However, this was not a very good place for warriors. Moreover, it was a woman who cultivated in such a gloomy place. This was even worse. It was detrimental to cultivation. At this moment, in the center of the cave, Hua Yun was sitting cross-legged. She was operating her cultivation method to heal her injuries. Only Hua Yun knew nothing about the outside world. Lin Rei came to Hua Yun's side and released his divine sense to explore her. Looking at the circulation route of the cultivation method in Hua Yun's body, Lin Rei frowned and then relaxed. Mother can even close her 5 senses to cultivate in such a place. Poor Long Ming and the others. Closing one's 5 senses to cultivate was a taboo, especially in such an environment. Generally, to be able to close one's 5 senses to cultivate, it was either in a very closed place where outsiders could not enter, or there were some very trusted people around them. Otherwise, it would not be like this. Seeing that Hua Yun's cultivation method had reached a critical moment, Lin Rei did not disturb her. Instead, he went to the side and found a dry place to sit down. He closed his eyes and began to cultivate. In the outside world, Lu Chongtian saw Lin Rei leave. Lu Chongtian waved his hand to let everyone disperse. As for where they went, it was up to them. As for Lu Chongtian, he also came to another cave. This was the cave where Long Ming cultivated. Long Ming was not as bold as Hua Yun. The moment Lu Chongtian entered the cave, he sensed it. He opened his eyes and turned his head. When he saw the person in front of him, Long Ming's dignified face revealed a smile. "Senior, you're back?" That's right. The person Long Ming saw was Lu Chongtian. He stood up and walked to Lu Chongtian's side and spoke respectfully. "I'm back." Looking at Long Ming, Lu Chongtian said, "You've done well during my absence. It seems that I was right to leave you here." Hearing Lu Chongtian's praise, Long Ming's face revealed a hint of pride. "Senior, you flatter me. This is what I should do. After all, this is also my responsibility." "Hee hee, you brat." Hearing Long Ming's words, Lu Chongtian did not explain. After all, he had already admitted that he was a member of the Lin family. In that case, responsibility was also correct. "Oh right." Xiao Chen seemed to have thought of something. He looked at Long Ming and revealed a smile. Then he continued, "This time, my master also came back with me. Furthermore, there is good news." Your master?" Long Ming was shocked. Lu Chongtian's master was a super strong person. Most importantly, their lives were still in his hands. Only when Lin Rei spoke would they be able to escape death. Seeing Long Ming's expression, Lu Chongtian smiled. He understood what Long Ming was thinking. "Don't worry. Master has already said that he won't kill you and your subordinates. Don't worry this time." Really? Originally, Long Ming thought that his life was in danger, but now that this news came, Long Ming was a little in disbelief. However, in order to confirm it again, Long Ming asked again, "Senior, is what you said true? We really don't have to die?" Lu Chongtian. He was speechless at Long Ming's reaction. However, in order to reassure Long Ming, Lu Chongtian still responded. "Yes, what I said is true. Don't worry. Master said that he won't do anything to you. Besides, if nothing goes wrong, perhaps this time you will get unexpected benefits. Of course, this is only my guess. I don't know the specifics. We will only know when it is confirmed." At this moment, Lu Chongtian's words could no longer enter Long Ming's ears. At this moment, Long Ming was confident that he didn't have to get up. As for the reward, he didn't care about it anymore. If a person was dead, it would be useless even if he was given a mountain of gold and silver. As long as he was alive, everything was king. As if thinking of something, Long Ming recovered from his excitement and looked at Lu Chongtian. Senior, since that person is here, why don't I go and thank him for not killing me? Do I need to take a shower and change my clothes? Long Ming's actions almost made Lu Chongtian unable to hold back his laughter, but he almost laughed out loud. All right, don't be so busy. Master is now in Master's cave. If you want to see Master, I'm afraid you'll have to wait until dinner. Ah, is that so? Long Ming's face showed inexplicable disappointment, but he quickly recovered. Well, hurry up and get ready. When dinner comes, you will be able to see someone stronger than me. After that, Lu Chongtian didn't give Long Ming a chance to speak. He went to the side and found a clean place to lie down. Just wake me up for dinner. After saying that, he closed his eyes and didn't speak anymore. He was too tired during this time and basically didn't have much rest. Now that Lin Rei was here, he no longer had any worries. The worry in his heart was finally put down. His body relaxed, sleepiness swept over, and he fell asleep unknowingly. Seeing that Lu Chongtian had fallen asleep, Long Ming didn't disturb him. He tiptoed out of the cave house and went to prepare dinner. Time passed quickly, and evening came in the blink of an eye. In Hua Yun's cave house, Hua Yun finished a day of cultivation and opened her 5 senses. The first thing she sensed was that there was one more person in her cave house. Perceiving the presence of that person, Hua Yun frowned, opened her eyes abruptly, and turned her head to look. Ray! The moment she turned her head and saw the person, Hua Yun was stunned on the spot. Her expression was filled with disbelief, and she tentatively called out softly. After a long pause, Lin Rei didn't speak. Hua Yun was stunned and spoke again. Ray, is that you? The voice sounded again, and under Hua Yun's slow anticipation, Lin Rei's eyes slowly opened. His gaze swept over the place where Hua Yun was. When he saw that Hua Yun had woken up, Lin Rei got up and came in front of Hua Yun. Without saying anything, he knelt on the ground. Mother, please accept your son's worship. Bang! A loud and clear sound rang out. Lin Rei's forehead and the ground had a firm kiss. Rei, it's really you. You're here. At this moment, if Hua Yun felt that it was a dream, then it was really abnormal. Yes, Mother, it's me. Previously, I felt that you were in danger, so I rushed to the Guangyun Empire without stopping. Are you okay? I heard from Lu Chongtian that you were injured. Although he had roughly checked Hua Yun's injuries, he couldn't help but ask. Chapter 11:10. It's fine, I'm fine now. As he spoke, he stood up and patted his chest, telling her that he was fine so that she wouldn't worry. You. Seeing his mother like this, Lin Rei smiled bitterly. Fortunately, I left something on your body this time. Otherwise, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Do you know? Look at you, why did you come here instead of staying at home? It's so dangerous. Looking at Fire Cloud, although Linley appeared to be reprimanding her, his words were filled with love. His tone was very gentle, and it was impossible to tell that he was actually reprimanding her. Looking at the reproachful look on her son's face, Hua Yun smiled and walked to Linley's side. She pinched his face and said, All right, don't be angry. Isn't it because a mother wants to see her son? Looking at Hua Yun, Lin Rei wanted to say something, but as soon as he opened his mouth, he didn't say anything. It wasn't that he didn't want to say anything, but that he couldn't open his mouth, as if something was stuck in his throat. Previously, I followed Lu Chongtian to the Divine Valley, but before I even entered, I saw the message you left at the entrance. Then, for the sake of the Lin family's safety, I came to the Guangyun Empire. At first, I didn't think that it would be dangerous. After all, with Lu Chongtian's cultivation, I just didn't think that the empire would be so chaotic. As soon as I entered the city, I was targeted by people looking for trouble. Isn't that so? Luckily, I have a handsome and elegant son. Otherwise I would have been done for. As she spoke, she no longer tried to make Lin Rei angry, and Hua Yun's words became more teasing. Sure enough, the effect was just as Hua Yun expected. The moment these words reached Lin Rei's ears, the originally expressionless Lin Rei revealed a slight smile, as if he was enjoying his mother's words. All right, let's not talk about it. Hurry up and tell me where you've been these past few years. Why did you go to the Divine Valley? Don't you know how terrifying that place is? You're the only descendant of the Lin family. What if something happens to you? Your father hasn't come back yet. If he comes back and finds out what you've done, I'm afraid he'll spank you too. Lin Rei. Hua Yun's words were unscrupulous. She didn't give any face to Lin Rei. The original situation was instantly reversed by Hua Yun. Originally, it was Lin Rei who was interrogating, but now the situation had completely reversed to Hua Yun. Listening to Hua Yun's words, especially the last part about spanking, Lin Rei's forehead was filled with black lines, and his expression was extremely awkward. One had to know that although Lin Rei's appearance was that of a teenager, his heart was filled with the soul of a 3,000 to 4,000-year-old. Now that he was being spoken to like this, where could he put his old face? Fortunately, there was no one around to see this. Otherwise, if someone saw a dignified saint being treated like this, he would definitely become famous in the God realm, or even in the holy world. Seeing that Lin Rei didn't say anything, Hua Yun reached out and pinched Lin Rei's ear, and said fiercely, "Hurry up and speak, or don't even think about letting this matter pass." At this moment, Lin Rei wanted to cry. When had he ever experienced such a day? Even when he wasn't a cultivator, he had never been treated like this. However, even though Lin Rei felt a little awkward, his heart was warm. Being pinched by Hua Yun didn't hurt, but Lin Rei still pretended that his clothes were in pain and begged for mercy. "Mom, I was wrong. I'll speak, okay?" Humph. Hurry up. Seeing that her son had compromised, Hua Yun reached out her hand and pinched Lin Rei's ear. She then sat to the side and looked at him, waiting for his response. When a tiger leaves the plains, it will be bullied by its mother. Seeing his mother like this, Lin Rei sighed inwardly, and then told her some of the things that had happened after he left home. As for danger, he really didn't see it. After all, with his status as a cultivator, if he was in danger, it would be embarrassing. He slowly walked to Hua Yun's side and sat down. Looking at the entrance of the cave, he slowly told her some of the things that had happened in the past few years. "When I left home, I planned to travel, and then I went." Just like this, Lin Rei slowly began to tell his story. He spoke for a few hours. During this time, Hua Yun asked several questions, but in the end, Lin Rei simply said that he needed to go. Hua Yun didn't feel that there was anything wrong with this. The sky outside gradually darkened. The so-called dark clouds pressing down on the city was nothing more than this. The sky darkened, and a touch of dark red decorated the beautiful night. Awoo! The roars of various demonic beasts came from the distance. The roars of various demonic beasts seemed to be saying that night had come, and it was time to hunt. In front of the cave, there was a bonfire burning with raging flames. Above the bonfire, there was a piece of barbecued meat. The only difference was that this piece of barbecued meat was a little bigger. It was estimated to weigh at least 500 kilograms. Long Ming sat in front of the bonfire and continuously rolled the meat to prevent it from burning. Other than Long Ming, there was no one else. "Oh my God, it's finally done." Looking at the rotten meat, Long Ming tore a piece of meat and put it in his mouth. After tasting it, his eyes lit up. Although the taste of the rotten meat couldn't be considered delicious, it was still a good thing in the wilderness. He got up and walked to Lu Chongtian's cave and shouted in front of the door, "Senior, the meat is done. Come out and eat." In the cave, Lu Chongtian's closed eyes slowly opened. Looking at his junior brother's face, Lu Chongtian was startled. He immediately got up and walked out of the cave. Now that he had slept for a while, his body was much more relaxed. During this period of time, his body and mind had been in a tense state. Walking out of the cave, he saw Long Ming and smiled. "Not bad, I didn't expect it to be so fast." At this moment, Lu Chongtian had already seen the barbecued meat on the bonfire. The fragrance of the meat also entered Lu Chongtian's mouth and nose. "Senior is too kind. Haha, don't be modest." He smiled and patted Long Ming's shoulder. Then he turned around and went to Lin Rei's cave. He called out softly, Master's grandmother, "The meal is ready. Come out and eat." At this moment, in the cave, Lin Rei and Hua Yun ended the conversation. After a few hours, Lin Rei finally summarized his experience during this period of time. At this moment, Lu Chongtian's voice came. The two looked at each other and smiled. They got up at the same time and walked out of the cave. Do you have any plans during this period of time? On the way, Huayun couldn't help but ask Lin Rei. In her opinion, she didn't want Lin Rei to leave. After all, the mother and son had just met. She didn't want to be separated from him so soon. She was reluctant. Lin Rei also understood this point. He turned to Huayun, hesitated for a moment, and said, I won't leave during this period of time. If there's anything, just let Lu Chongtian do it. Really? Yes, really. You're tuning in to the Xueqi's Martial Arts Saga YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.